You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What is up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to another All Talk. Are they All Talked? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you by us.
That's it. All Talk with Hello Sport. Coming up on the show today is a friend of the show.
Different.
Dear friend. First met him back in 2022 when we got invited to the Music Industry Masters up in Byron ahead of Splendour in the Grass. Now, not music industry, not musicians, artists, and we're not in the industry, but such is our, impact on the Australian music scene from a distance.
Yep.
They were like, we got to have Tom and Eddie there.
It was nice to be recognised. And this guest was front and centre in recognising us as having such a monumental influence on the music industry at large.
Yeah.
Pivotal?
Pivotal, not pivotable. Pivotable would be like that you have the ability maybe to pivot.
I think that he said of us that we were pivotal to the music industry.
And to the day itself. It was a great day, but that was last year. We obviously kept in touch. We had a couple of nights out there. I think maybe when we were in Byron, at least one, I can't remember.
It was,
maybe you had a couple.
I had a couple.
I had one.
Yep.
Shout out to my children. But lead singer of the Rubens, right? A very, very successful Australian band. Won Triple J's Hottest 100 amongst many other things. But he is the lead singer.
He is. He came in for a yarn.
Bit of rosé, and we went out to hit a golf afterwards. He sharked us. We looked good on the first hole, and he sunk like the biggest putt you've ever seen in your life, and we knew we were in some trouble. Sam Margin. Here he is.
Awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm glad you're into a bit of big day rosé.
I haven't tried it
Can
yet.
I just tell you something?
Yeah.
Have you seen a better colour?
In rosé?
Yes, in
Yeah.
rosé.
No.
Yeah.
It's not too pink.
It's not too pink, no.
You need a little bit of pink, though, because otherwise you're just having a savvy bee.
Exactly.
Well, that's right.
No, it's
And
got to be pink.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't mind a savvy bee, but I'm not in the savvy bee business.
How is business?
The rosé business?
Yeah.
Great.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's flop. Yeah. Loving it.
Yeah, I think you should maybe pour our guest
I
rosé
will, Tom.
first. I know that you're that sort of a host. I just thought
I am.
Make
I want that on the public record.
yeah.
Have you guys tried tequila? Like getting into tequila?
Dude, we want to be in tequila so bad.
Is it a
we
real
love
hard
rosé,
one?
but it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Have you talked about doing tequila? You guys did a gin,
No,
didn't you?
I wanted to talk to you guys and reach out about it like a while back because we were talking about tequila, I guess, when I met you guys. And I was just like, man, that would be a good little side hustle. But I think it's pretty tricky, hey,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's got to be
tough.
done like
It's got to be
legit.
from Tequila, which is a place I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you got to get your agave there, and it's all kind of like quite strict, right?
Dude, it's like cartel-y where it's like you have to basically be like almost patched in. You got to be jumped into the fucking tequila gang before they let you.
I'd do it.
Cheers,
And
bro.
Cheers, boys.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Love that. I'll give you a cheers, Eddie.
Love that. Cheers, boys.
Yep. Yeah, dude. That's
Yeah,
it.
that is actually really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
legit.
good stuff.
That's
You're not just saying that. That's
I'm not just saying that.
But so yeah, with tequila,
you got to be patched in. The other thing is that all the big dogs like Patron and Don Julio, etc., Casamigos, they all fucking buy it all up. Like you can't physically make. I don't think they can make more than they're making in that area.
they're redlining.
Are you allowed to grow it here?
There are people that do it. There are, but I
thought
think
there
it's
was.
maybe I don't know if this is true or not because I haven't done my research. But like whether
Just shoot from the hip.
whether you can't call it tequila unless it's from tequila, similar to champagne, like it's sparkling.
Yeah.
It's same as Scotch, which is whiskey from Scotland.
Didn't know that.
Oh, really? Oh, so we have sparkling. Yeah, we got sparkling wine
Sparkling,
here.
yeah.
Just doesn't
Yeah.
sound as good.
Well, it
Doesn't-
sounds a little bit more bogan.
Yeah, it
and you
does.
immediately think of
Yellow Glen.
of a yellow Glen. I was going to say lukewarm yellow Glen.
you-
you know what I mean? That's
a
been
lukewarm
sitting in
Yellow
a
Glen.
bucket
It's a
without any
headache.
ice in it. Yeah.
Reach out, Yellow Glen, though, if you want to sponsor the podcast. Can be.
Well, Yellow Glen is an absolute staple of Australiana,
yeah,
really.
it is. Australian ice buckets,
Yeah, Yellow Glen,
Tubs.
and then also pink.
pink.
You know it's bad when you make an Aperol spritz and you can still taste how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like you can taste the shitness through all the other
You can
stuff.
see, yeah. It's still overpowering
Yeah.
everything else you've put in there.
Too much soda water.
But I would like the dream is tequila one day. We got a friend of ours who I don't know whether he wants to be named or not, so I won't actually say him. But he
didn't say one way or the other.
He didn't. But so he, knowing how difficult it was to like get in with the tequila gang. Spent like 3 years, him and his wife, learning.
You were going to say
Spanish.
Mexican then?
I wasn't.
You were fucking close.
My head went there, and I was like, oh.
So he spent 3 years learning it,
Yeah.
Mexican, and then had like spent another few years, like, so he has bottle shops and stuff in Australia, like developing this relationship with them back and forth. Now he's like one of the only Australian importers where he can actually like import tequila.
Unbranded, unlabeled.
And
Well,
that we
don't
thought
you just smack a little Hello Sport label in there?
well, that's where there's like, we want that as an in, but then he uses that for his own shit. So we're trying to work out.
Listen, let's call a spade a spade. There was a little bit of a nah-brah there. And that's fine, because he's running his own racket and he's got runs on the board learning Mexican. We don't.
Yeah. He's got a monopoly on the Australian tequila trade.
Also,
and are we going to go and learn Spanish for 4 years so we can get in there? No. So.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No.
My wife's Croatian.
I'll tell you the
15 years,
percentage
can't say a
chance
word.
there is. There's 0% chance of that happening.
Yeah, I
Zero.
know.
So that's not to impugn on Rose's good work either.
No, we're still huge.
They can sit next to each other.
Yeah.
They don't need to be. They don't counteract each other.
No, they're not mutually exclusive.
No, they're not.
It would
Or
just be
should they
fun to
be?
go on trips there. Like if you had a business and it was like, I got to go to Mexico again because I
And
got
he
to go.
does it all the time. I see on his
that's
Instagram. He's
sick.
over. I'm like, dude, this looks.
I might
this is huge.
expense the trip.
Yeah.
No, you would expense the
research.
trip.
No, I'm going in January, so I'm
Where are you going to
yeah,
go?
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Bit of recon.
Bit of recon.
Pretty
I just
dangerous.
hear wonderful things, so who's going to fucking taste all the different.
This is going to
flavours.
sound like I'm ignorant, right? And it's probably good to like preface anything you say when it's, but like, isn't it a bit sort of how you're going over there at the moment?
No. It's like if you're a tourist
I
with
did also
money
just
to
watch
spend.
Narcos.
If you're a tourist with money to spend, they fucking leave those places alone.
I don't think they do, dude.
Yeah, I think it's a bit.
You look
There
at
is
like
100%
Cabo and all those
there's
places
100%
where rich people are getting like, because they
people
know you
get
got money.
gang.
There's 100% areas there where you'd be sweet.
You reckon?
100%. 100%.
100%?
Yes.
I think that's too confident.
Yeah,
'Cause you're right. Cabo's like.
Yeah, there's the fancy places are getting targeted as well. I went there when I was 19, and in hindsight, my parents were so chilled. I don't think they even like said, "Be careful." When I left, I was there for 4 weeks, going on buses across the whole thing. And in hindsight, I'm like, they were all cartel-controlled places, and I'm
You
just.
see,
jumping
I
on
won't be
buses.
bussing it across the
No,
country.
don't do that.
You know what I mean? That's not my cup of tea anymore.
But maybe they thought I was just one of the locals.
Yeah.
So I got away with
You
it.
made part. Yeah, exactly. No one could be this
with
crazy.
your flawless Spanish.
No, I just didn't say anything. I just
Yeah, keep it quiet.
don't say a thing when you're there.
I'm mute.
Dave,
I don't know
can
what
you
you're
just-
saying, bro.
If you hear any, if you find any information about the state of Mexico, mate.
Well, I
you feel
was
free
talking to
send
someone
it.
the other day, I can't remember who, but they were saying that the cartels kind of rely on the tourist industry as well for like, dealing to tourists and for the general economy in each city to run well. So they don't want to mess with that too much. Like if someone does do something that causes tourists to kind of back out of the place, that
Circle
hurts
of
them
life
as
sort of
well.
stuff.
Circle of life.
Was in like,
a
everything's
symbiotic
keeping everything in
relationship.
check.
Oh, it's an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Sure.
You just got to not wrong them.
Yeah, maybe. How are you anyway, mate?
Did you think we'd get geopolitical?
No, I didn't know where we were going to go, to be honest. I don't know what I have to offer.
Mate,
so
you've
I just
got
thought I'd
plenty
just
to
come
offer.
here and let you guys run the show.
Well, that's
I feel like we've just given the listener a bunch of really good information about Mexico and tequila in general.
exactly right. And speaking Mexican.
Yeah.
Mate, so the first time we, I think it was actually met, was at the Music Industry Masters where we were artists. It was
Yeah.
one of the more, well, initially we weren't masters. We weren't in the muso side, were we? Weren't we initially like on
Initially,
the fucking media?
initially
well-
we were industry, but then I think that common sense came to
Yeah, prevail.
prevail, won the day. And
Yeah.
we were moved into the music side of things because I've
Artists.
always felt that Tom and I feel
Artists.
we're a bit more artists than industry.
I'd say you are, but I can tell you how that happened because I was the one doing the lists.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know exactly what happened. There wasn't enough artists and there was a lot of industry. So
Okay.
therefore you were placed there.
Well, I mean, I
But-
thought it
But
was
I would
We could have placed
argue-
someone else there though, out of the industry. We thought
That's-
you guys
No,
were
well-
the best suited to sort of.
closest to the art.
I appreciate that. I'd also argue strongly that industry a bit of a weird fit for us.
We're not industry. Well, listen, we probably didn't fit anywhere, except in the art section. We're definitely more artists. How did was that the first year you'd run it that year? Or
Yeah,
was it,
that was the first year.
how'd you go this? Like how'd it come to be? Was it a COVID based thing that you was trying to
Yeah,
start?
it was one of those things where you talk about it pre-COVID, but you got life and work on and stuff. And then we talked about it. Me and Ferg from from Kingswood and Danny from June Rats. We'd sort of just been talking about the idea of it. Then COVID happened. All right, now's the time to start doing some Zooms, just to hang out with my mates on Zoom and try and get this thing to happen. So the first year was tricky because, I mean, we had no idea what we were doing whatsoever. This year went a lot smoother. We had carts.
Oh, fuck yeah.
'Cause when you guys came, it was kind of like the weather was dicey. I feel like we started at midday and played 9 holes and we were off there by dark, maybe. It was slow.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was a testing one, you know.
Did we only play 9 holes? See, I couldn't tell you what the fuck we played.
I wouldn't know. Were we off guts by the end of it? Yeah.
I think a lot of people were.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah.
So this year, what was the weather like this year?
It was beautiful. Sunny, carts, all done within 3 hours.
Oh, that's
back to the clubhouse, putt off for the win.
Yeah.
Industry got us again, but
Did you win it last year or the year we were there?
nah. Oh, I got something actually.
You got something, but I was wondering.
It felt wrong, me winning something.
Fuck, you should speak to Sebo, who
He doesn't have the
our
same
golf
feelings
club. No,
about
he
winning his own
doesn't.
golf
Has he won
course.
every time?
fucking he's
Some kind of prize?
He's won one, he's podium one, and then he just missed out on a podium last time.
But we've had to sit him down and go, mate, you can't actually win that. You know all these awards we're putting together based on like sponsorship money that you've organised? You can't win that. He's like, what do you mean? We're like, not a good look, dude. Not a good look.
It's not a good look. And I did win a putter, but I gave it away. And that's the problem there is that Taylormade endorsed our thing, but Taylormade also endorsed me as a golfer.
Right.
So I've already got a bag full of stuff from him. And then I win a putter and I was like, this is
too
not
much
a good look.
endorsement.
So you're a Taylormade guy.
I'm a Taylormade sponsored athlete. Yeah.
That's fucked, dude. Can you tell them to sponsor us as athletes?
Well, I was texting him
Hands
last
up.
night about this podcast. I was like, give me some swag to take into the boys.
yeah, dude.
Like, hands up
They're
over
down.
here.
They're down. I think you guys already have nice putters though, right?
Scotty Cam.
We won't be needing any putters.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But I need a whole bag of like I need
other stuff.
I need everything else.
Well, what about like a driver? A nice driver.
Yeah.
And irons. Maybe a couple of wedges.
Okay. Cool.
Well, listen, I'll take a driver. Eddie won't stop until he's got a fucking old
This is
bag.
me putting the pressure on them to give you a driver. You'll
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
driver.
They
Okay.
go-
I'm saying
we
it
go-
now. Yeah.
Mate, good.
Who does stealths?
Taylormade.
Bang.
I'll give you a Stealth 2, the new
Oh,
one.
fuck yeah.
Bang.
That's what we
now
do.
now we're
sounds
starting
like an
to-
ad, but-
Now the ball's rolling. Well, listen, it can be an ad, Taylormade.
Because you're going to
It
get
can
something
be.
from it.
Yeah.
It can be an ad.
It doesn't have to be an ad, but it can be an ad.
If you want it to be an ad, I can make it an ad.
How do you become a sponsored fucking golf athlete?
Well, I'm not a good golfer for starters.
Yes, you are, dude. Well, you're better than us anyway.
Yeah, we're all.
Well, we'll see today.
We're
The
all
score will
great.
be
true.
set.
We will see
Yeah.
today.
We'll see later. But I was just I'd started getting into golf before COVID, and then I'd bought a TaylorMade driver online, and it just felt really weird. So I took it into the shop, and he's like, "Man, this is a fake golf club." So I'd bought this fake golf club off Gumtree, and I was real cut about it.
I bet you
I
were.
was like, duh. So and a comedian friend of mine said, just hit up TaylorMade. Like, they sent me a driver, they'll send you a driver. So I just DM them one Saturday. I was like, hey, wrote this sort of bullshit thing about like, music and golf has a long history, blah blah blah. It's just a load of shit. And then I got a response in 20 minutes saying, hey mate, just book yourself in at our TaylorMade Melbourne lab. Fly down, we'll sort you out.
Oh, heck.
And I was like, okay. So I wasn't sure if like I was going to go down for this fitting and then get sent the bill at the end. So it was a gamble still because I didn't want to
you
ask.
still aren't sure.
And it would have been $5,000. So it was a gamble even going down there for me. But I went down there and I could just get the vibe that this was all going to be on the house.
Oh, that's
So I
good
got a
stuff.
full fitting. And then since then, they just treat me like a professional golfer. Like every year they'll be like, hey, there's a new irons coming out. Like, are you happy with your lofts and lies? All this stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
I want to be happy with my lofts and
That's the
lies.
thing, dude. I want someone to
I
ask
want to
me
be
that
happy with
question.
lofts and lies.
That's it. We need to get asked that.
You've talked about this kind of stuff on the podcast.
and
no one reached
fucking
out.
talks to us, mate.
No one's reached out, dude. That's the problem. And TaylorMade. I am a TaylorMade golfer. That's the fucking clubs that I use.
It's starting to become a big problem.
Well, it's the
for
elephant
me,
in the room.
emotionally.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we've given it airtime right now has done a lot of work.
Listen, and if it hasn't, I think what would be nice is if we go back into your DMs, like if you can, and just copy paste whatever the fuck you sent to them.
Yeah.
Shoot that through to us.
And then we'll change the word podcast with my music with podcast.
Yeah, and we'll just sort of podcasting golf, and we'll send that off.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that'd.
Or I could just text Benji after this and say the boys are keen.
Yeah, no, do that. Do that one first. If he doesn't come back to you, then we'll
Text
go to-
Benji and say the boys want to be asked if they're happy with their lofts and their lies.
I'll just tell them to listen to the podcast.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
I want to get that text in my life.
Yeah. And then say,
Don't you feel like I
no,
just
I'm
feel
not
like
happy
rolling
with it.
over going, Elsa, look at this. That's how important I am now.
They want to know how my lofts and my lies are.
And can I be honest with you? they can be tweaked and improved.
They need to be.
Yeah.
You can send them back and they'll just give you a couple of degrees up, couple of degrees
Oh,
down,
that's
and all that
perfect.
kind of
That's good
stuff.
to know.
I've never
And
said
I also
that.
need a gap wedge, just while we're...
Yeah, no, well, we do. I also lost
know we
I
do.
lost my 6-iron.
And I lost my sandwich. Fuck.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is it difficult, like, in your line of work, where you do get free shit from time to time,
Yeah.
knowing when it isn't free and when it is? Like, that one, you sort of pushed the pace on it a little bit, but like, or is it pretty obvious when people are like, hey, put this fucking jumper on?
I think there's always something in return. I got to say, my relationship with Taylormade, I'll stop talking about Taylormade, but my relationship with those guys has been the most one-sided relationship ever. Like, they don't ask me for anything.
Oh,
they're
really?
so happy. I give them tickets now and again because they're just fans of the band and fans of music anyway, like the whole crew. So that's kind of, it's been a nice relationship where
Yeah.
they're not saying like, oh, here's a driver, but we want 3 main story posts and then this and that.
Yeah. And we need you to send screenshots of the engagement.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's always, it feels like these days you guys would have the same thing. It's like, if people want to send you something, there's probably something in return and you just got to weigh up.
Yeah,
Is it worth it?
how much do you want?
Yeah.
I've got to say though that the giftings have dried up as we've gotten older.
Oh, really?
Like back in the day, yeah, it was just like shoes, clothes, constantly just coming through. Now, if we're like on a photo shoot and we find out we get to keep the Vans that they get, we're just like stoked. We can keep these?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Well, these are free.
Let's leave before they change their mind.
You can be over gifted though, in the sense that like I don't need any of this shit.
Like a wetsuit.
Well, I do need that.
No, we
Have
need
you
the
used
wetsuits.
it?
Well, not yet, because
Not
there's
yet.
a reason for that.
What's the reason?
We haven't been in the water yet.
You see these boards behind us? Missing a leg rope, wax, fins, and a foot
Humans to
pad.
ride 'em.
You're just waiting for Billabong to send that stuff through for you.
Now listen, Billabong obviously.
Well, they haven't. I'm not pointing fingers. That hasn't been sent through.
Yeah,
That's
fair
okay.
enough.
But they did send us weddies, which upon inspection are very good weddies.
Yeah, so my mate who's a server's like, dude, they actually sent you really nice weddies, which is great. So we thank Billabong
Just
for
take them
that.
for a swim.
We will. We just haven't yet.
Yeah, okay.
And that's there's been a couple of reasons for that. We're obviously very busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Family man. He's got a dog. Like, you got to find time in between doing all that sort of shit.
Doesn't mind a rip and tear on the weekend.
Doesn't mind
like,
a
I'm
rip and
busy.
tear. We were meant to do it a couple of weeks ago in Newcastle with Jacko Baker, who's professional chef, said he was going to give us some lessons. We had a huge night on Friday, and
It's
then
hard to get up.
It was hard to
go in the water.
coordinate.
But you
Especially
feel
when
good
you can't really
afterwards.
swim.
I know.
Sort of
Yeah, well, he
like-
can't
It's not
swim
the top
either.
of your fucking
What's
to-dos.
that?
He can't
I
swim.
can swim.
He
but
can't
It's a
swim.
bit of a joke.
Okay,
well,
sorry.
but you
I
can't though, right? Like, you can, but you can't.
Is it that you
I
don't
can swim
float?
to
Was that the
survive,
thing?
but
Yeah,
I
you
can't.
can't
float.
I can survive. I can't thrive.
Yeah,
Big
okay.
difference.
Well, the wetsuits will add to your buoyancy.
But we're also, because we're in the content business, Sam, I like the idea, so does Tom, of our first surf ever being with a professional surfer.
Because
it just
it's-
has like a bit of a nice ring to it.
Well, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You
But
know
you got
what I
to
mean?
sort of take opportunities, don't you?
And we didn't. We fucked it. Because
Yeah.
now Jacko's flying overseas, I saw.
He's got Portugal starting on the 1st of October.
Yeah, so listen.
You're trying to re-qualify? Remember I gave him that rev up
yeah,
speech?
you did. Fucking ripped into him about qualifying again on the golf course. He's like, righto. He did like it, though. I think he enjoyed
No, he
it.
loved
Watch
it.
him re-qualify now after that.
Watch him re-qualify. Big fan of Jacko Baker.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Punters and dribblers, as always, they're brought to you by our good friends at Ned's. Shout out to Ned's.
It's pony season.
It's pony season.
Pony season.
Everest this weekend.
Peel and work season.
It's peel and work season. It's time to peel and it's time to work.
Yeah. I need you peeling and I need you working.
And where do you peel and where do you work?
I peel and I work on Ned's.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. If I'm having a punt with the boys, I'm doing it with Ned's because I'm of the opinion, Tom, that they allow me to peel and work the best.
They're the best facilitators of peeling and working.
Correct.
Yeah.
No one peels and works like Ned's do. And I'm a peeler and worker by trade, by nature.
Yeah, by note, of note. By trade, by nature of note, peeling, working.
Peeling, working. If you want to peel and work, do it with Ned's.
That's right.
Also, join us in our private About Even group, code Dribbler to get in.
Get in
Because we
there.
peel and work in there too.
We do. Also, the new profiles where you can follow us all, our individual profiles.
Again.
On the Ned's app, see how we're peeling and how we're working, and you can engage us that way.
Yeah, peel and work. Thanks to Ned's.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website. I just wanted to quickly,
Yeah.
because obviously, like, Kindred Spirits music, musos.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did we ever play together?
No, because you were far better than I was, and I appreciate that though.
What was the name of the band, though?
Drifts.
Because like once
you
we
heard of
started
Drifts?
listening, once we started listening to the pod and you talked about Drifts, Elliot, who's in the band, my brother, he was like, I swear we played with those guys on a bill at some point. Are
No,
you sure?
I would remember that because we did have Gang of Youths open for us once, and I sort of flex that every once in a while. And so trust me, what we did have was the same manager, which again sounds way cooler than it is. Shout out to Baker. But he sort of introduced us to you.
Are you talking about Tim Baker?
Yeah, Tim Baker.
We've talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah. On a well,
I thought you meant
like,
you and Gang of Youths had the same manager, and then you said Baker.
Oh,
we did.
No, Bakes. You guys were. And
Maybe
again,
that's where I heard the name. Maybe
that's
Baker
of
just
course.
brought it
Well,
up.
that's the only way. You
Still
would've
cool,
heard it,
though.
brother. No, look at this. Look at us now.
So, have you listened to the music?
Yeah, I did a while back.
Pretty fucking dope, hey.
Back to.
I think it was
back
all
to-
right. I don't remember
what is
being
it? Back to
disgusted by
Redfern.
it.
Back to.
The fucking I don't know.
What are your songs called?
I don't remember what they're
Give a
called.
couple.
You don't remember one
Give a
song
couple.
title?
One was called Someday.
What was the one that you played non-fucking stop when we were in Bathurst together, and you did every speaker and every headphone, and then you played it in the car, and it just drove everyone insane?
I
What
have
was that
no
called?
idea what it was called. But
There's
listen, dude, I was making sure, obviously, that the quality was up to standard.
Got it recorded professionally. Weren't you going to be on like a
That's
surf?
right. Where did you guys get something recorded in the city? Dean? Is he a fucking guy who recorded shit or something?
Dean Touza?
Maybe. I don't know, dude. This is going to get very confusing
Yeah,
eventually
dude,
for
no.
people. No one's going to know what the fuck.
Yeah, no one's going to.
Wake Up and Ocean Sounds.
There you go.
Two of the songs. on Spotify.
Ocean Sounds.
Ocean Sounds.
That's a good title.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Whale song.
Yeah, dude. Listen, man, I was the drummer, man. I didn't have much to do with it. I just sort of sit back there and fucking try and play, which I wasn't very good at either. But how did you guys start? Because the first time I heard you was Lay It Down, which is actually like I still fucking love that song, and we would jam to some Rubens today before
yeah?
you came in. Yeah,
Thanks, man. That's actually probably one of my favourites.
Your voice is fucking brilliant, and I'm not trying
you.
to suck.
It's
your dick,
fucking
obviously,
good.
but it's a fantastic voice.
Thank you.
But it sound like there's something about the way it sounds in that song that I'm just like getting hard for.
Oh yeah.
Was that your first song, or is that?
That's like that. I guess that recording you would listen to today, that'd still be a lot of those parts in that song would have been the stuff that I recorded in my bedroom, like as
Hectic.
a demo. Because basically what happened was I went and did like a gap year when I left school, went to London, fucked around, didn't come back for 3 years, played like acoustic sets and stuff, open mic nights, but just like
Just by yourself?
just by myself, just for a bit of fun. Like, I came back and we all kind of played instruments, like me and my two brothers, Zach and Elliot, who were in the band. We all played separate instruments, but we never ever played together. We weren't like a family band. We were all real private with, that kind of stuff. But I just said, let's start a kind of band like that. I was really into the Black Keys at the time, and I said, like, I feel like them doing this kind of new soul R&B style stuff is cool. No one else is really doing it. Let's like use them as our inspo and then start writing some music. So I got like a laptop and just like a little home recording set up at mum and dad's house. I moved back home to mum and dad's, which was depressing at the time. But I had a lot of time on my hands just working bar jobs and stuff. And I would just, in the daytimes, just make demos. And Elliot was still in high school at the time. So he would come home from high school, add his keys parts to it or whatever. And then it happened, like we were one of the lucky bands because like within 6 months of doing that, we were already on Triple J. We had a producer in New York who wanted to make a record. We had labels after us.
In 6 months?
In 6 months.
How did that happen?
It was just it was a bunch of very fortunate sort of coincidences. Like the songs I thought were cool and like the sound was maybe of the moment, but I think we just uploaded to Unearthed and a few presenters heard it, and then Louis McCurdy just
I
decided
remember
to
Louis.
play it. Louis was great. Yeah.
Was he like lunchtimey?
He was the one that I think he was kind of like
Was he drive guy or was that the doctor?
the doctor was the drive guy, and then Louis was lunchtime.
Louis lunchtime. He
Surely
was
one of you
very
two fucks can tell us. Tobler's got a Triple J tattoo on his
These
leg.
guys would have been.
He was lunch.
He was very chilled out.
People loved or sort of hated him. But
I was a big Louis fan.
Yeah.
because I was always in the van. That's when I was like in the van delivering alcohol, and he just
Chill you out.
set the tempo for a chill
100%.
day.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit since then. Everything's quite intense on the radio, but it was awesome back then. So he played it on his radio show, and then I think obviously like back then especially like Triple J was like meant a lot. Like if Triple J played your song, you would suddenly have 200 people at your shows all of a sudden overnight.
Yeah, wow.
It's not the same anymore because of streaming, all that kind of stuff. But back then, like if you had their seal of approval, kind of changed things for you. We didn't have a label at the time, but Triple J playing the music meant that we had Aussie labels all sort of interested in signing us. So, but yeah, we had this bloke in New York City called David Kahn who produced The Strokes, Paul McCartney, Regina Spektor.
Wig out that must have been.
Dude, yeah, a friend
After
about
6 months.
dude, and we're like, we have to go to New York. We don't have a record deal. We don't have any money, but he wants to make this record. He said he'll basically just sort of record it in his studio and we'll just pay him once we get a deal. So we borrowed money from our parents just to get flights over there. Got this little Airbnb kind of thing, living off like $10 a day, but working in the world's like one of the best studios in the world. Like all
You
the
go
records,
from your bedroom, you know, and you see a little setup.
What a
mental, mental.
Were you nervous? Did that wig you out? Like,
I think it was just that ignorance is bliss. That at that age, you just kind of take risks, right? Like
Yeah.
you just do stupid shit and just sort of, you kind of don't really get how big a moment it is.
Is your brother still at school? At this
Elliot,
point?
yeah, so everyone was going to schoolies when Elliot finished school, but he was going to New York to make an album.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah, he's lucky. He's lucky.
seriously.
Yeah. So we did that, and that, yeah, it all happened within about a year. We had a record finished from when we started and came back to Australia and just started.
How long were you in New York for?
I think maybe 2 or 3 months, or 2 months maybe.
And did you go over there and do you have songs already written, or are you over there like, fuck, right, wherever you're writing songs, coming up with something? Like, how immersed are you in it, and how much of it is you guys like fucking off and having a good time? Like,
We didn't have the money to. Like I'm trying to think. Like I think we'd written most of the material, but we did have to do some. Once we got there, we had like a pre-production kind of phase where we just go into the studio with this dude David Kahn, who is he's an intense dude. He's one of those producers. Like some producers are super hippie Rick Rubin style, and others are just they'll brag to you about how they make artists cry. It's like Whiplash style, you know.
oh,
Really?
He was a bit more like that.
really?
Yeah. So it was like intense.
And do you think that that's like something where when you're younger, it's easier for you to get whiplashed, whereas like if you get older, you'd be like, you'd be a little less
not taking
like,
shit.
prepared to cop shit from some fucking
100%. And I guess it whipped us into shape pretty quick, but it's not a very nice approach.
How do you reflect back on it now, though? Are you kind of like, wow, is it one of those things that you sort of, you know, as you said, like when you're younger, you don't realize the gravity of the moment. Do you look back on it fondly, or are you sort of like, wow, that was wild?
No, I do. I look back on it fondly. Because we were 5 mates in New York City for the first time. In honestly, the studio, like everything was recorded there. Like all the classic records were made in this place. So we're just in this
That's so
amazing
wild.
place. Like, yeah, I look back on it fondly. Like, and I kind of just laugh about the intense moments. Like, we had one moment on recording that record where we all bought skateboards because I think it was the first record. We all bought skateboards because we were recording like on the Upper West Side, and we were down in like Chelsea or something. So we had a long way to go every day, like a few Ks. So we bought skateboards and we'd finish at 2 in the morning, and we'd all skate down like the middle of Manhattan through Times Square. There's not a soul around and just cruising. And then one day Zach was skating to get some beers, and he hit a crack in the pavement, went down real hard, came home, was saying he didn't feel well, and then that night we had to rush him to hospital because he'd ruptured his spleen.
Oh my.
And so he spent a few days in hospital, and like we didn't, I don't know if we had insurance as well.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
So there was just all these, it's just funny moments like that, you know, living off $10 a day. So we were literally like living off like Snickers out of the vending machine at the studio, saving enough for $1 slice on the way home. Like, but I think that's kind of the funnest part of it in hindsight.
Yeah.
You know?
How would the producer push you in what way was he intense?
Mind games, like
Oh,
he clearly preferred me. Like he would play favorites.
shit.
Yeah. He would like. He really liked me for some reason, which made it really awkward for me.
We do that.
I
We do it
I
with
was getting
Dave and
treated
Tobler all the
nicer.
time.
Yeah, you do. You do. You got psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. But yeah, he would just treat other band members differently. I think because I wrote the songs. Like I wrote a lot of the songs on the first record. He just appreciated songwriting and thought it was.
And that's
this-
lyrically you're writing the songs, right? Is that what
Yeah,
that means?
yeah.
Or is that even like arrangements and shit?
Oh, the hardest part of getting a song right is essentially if you can sing it with an acoustic guitar, that's a lot of the work done. and then the band coming in to like then elevate that by doing like sick drums, or doing all that kind of stuff is what makes it a Rubens song. You know what I mean? But it was more like, I just make little demos and stuff. And he sort of appreciated that above all else.
Right.
But wasn't subtle about it.
Oh, really?
And would be a real dick to Scott on the drums, like Whiplash style, being a cunt. Can you say that on?
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Being a
Cunt.
cunt.
Hard
Cunt.
T.
We don't mind a cunt here.
No, we don't. Okay, good. But yeah, there was one time in the studio there, so funny in hindsight, where when we're getting whiplashed and just spending 8 hours a day just going over it over and over it before we go to the real thing in the big studio. And he came in and was being a dick to Scott, and Scott does not take shit. And he was trying for so long just to leave this old dude alone. And at some point, Scotty just throws his sticks down, walks up to the front and gets like right in his face and just goes mental at him. The producer just became so small.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this was like before we even started on the record. And I'm just like, I think this record's over.
Oh,
I think we're going home.
Far out. That would have been stressful.
He had it coming though.
Well, exactly right. Like,
But I was like, shit, I don't know, Scotty, you might have to apologise. I know it's not your fault, but we kind of need to make this album. Like,
did that make you feel awkward being like, geez, this guy's like gagging on me and like everyone else? Like, how do you behave in that?
I think just acknowledge it to the boys when we leave the room. Do anything you can in the moment to just be like, just try and settle him down a bit. But it wasn't like it wasn't overt, but it was just enough that you could just tell it was just awkward for me.
Yes.
He kind of was nicer to my brothers as well. I don't know what the reason for it was, but yeah, as soon as we left, we're mates. Like,
Yeah.
Just acknowledge it to the boys.
Do you have any contact with that dude anymore, the producer? Like, what's
He could be a big fan of Hello Sport. You never know.
Well, he could be. Well,
If you're listening, David,
send him
I
out
forgive
regards.
you.
Yeah, David. What's up?
There we go. Our breaking of bread across
Yeah.
the
You
airwaves.
can
I
whiplash
think that's
us, dude.
nice. Well, mate, you can whiplash
Imagine,
Tom.
dude,
You're a drummer.
Can I just say, I think it would be funny to record a podcast in one of the most like hallowed recording studios ever, and you just sit there. Like, it'd almost be just a complete disrespect of the space. Like, imagine getting in Abbey Road or whatever it is and just like recording a podcast.
Fuck off, cunt.
Boys,
You know.
just get on the dribbler hotline. Some guys going, partners, hey, they're dribblers.
You don't tell them what you're doing until you turn up.
Absolutely.
The whole thing set up like 100 microphones.
That'd be so fucking
Could
funny.
you imagine the producer going, what the fuck is this? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that'd be
That
good.
sounds about right. So, what was the inspiration for the songwriting on the first album? Like, where do you...
Inspiration generally as
Where
well.
do you get inspiration generally for writing songs? Because sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I sit down and I'm like, okay, Tom and I always laugh about one day we want to write a rom-com. And when I actually sit down to start, I'm like, I've got absolutely fuck all. And what I do have is awful. So...
That's what you want in a rom-com, but I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, have you found that difficult, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's me and Elliot. So Elliot has like really stepped it up on the last two records and started to write like probably even more than I do. Like he's nailed it. Like Hoops, for example, Elliot.
Really?
Yeah. So he's a weapon, and his work ethic's insane. But we both have a similar style in terms of the way we like to write lyrics. Like, I'd rather tell a story. Like, in my head, I have an image of what the story is, whether it's a person doing something or a person feeling something, but it's never very personal. Like, it's influenced by shit I've experienced in my life, but I'm never going to, like, if I had a breakup back before I was married, I'm not going to write a song about that breakup. Right. It's not like it's this cathartic way of like releasing emotion for me. Okay. It's more about like, more storytelling and making up a character and a scene and then hopefully something that people can relate to, which I think just makes it more fun. Because if you have to write from personal experience all the time, you're going to run out of shit eventually, right?
Yeah.
And it could be quite intense as well.
Yeah, and I know that some artists that I know, like it helps them a lot. Like it's their therapy, and they get it out through their lyric writing. But I don't need it.
I also feel like there'd be maybe this is true regardless, but like it's almost way more intense bearing your soul in a creative sense, where it's like, oh, this is also written about like me getting dumped before a Balinese holiday sort of thing, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas
this
if you
is
just
about me strapped to the Dalton on a plane for 8 hours back to Bali.
yeah, exactly. You know, but like, whereas if you are telling a bit more of a story, I guess there's still that level of separation from the.
That is perfectly said. It's exactly that. Yeah. I don't want to get too personal. And the thing is that you can write a song and it can be from your heart and mean something. There's a few songs on records that are about a personal thing that's happened, but they haven't been singles. And if they were singles, I'd be going on radio shows every day, having to explain what the hell the song's about.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it sucks.
Yes.
If I could keep it like if I could write something personal and then never have to explain it to like Kiss FM in the mornings.
Fits in Whipper, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, is that kid?
No, Kiss
know.
FM
Colin
is
Jackie,
Colin
yeah.
Jackie, yeah.
Yeah. You know, not that they would have me on, but
Dogs.
yeah, I wouldn't want to have to like.
Is
go back into
there
it.
almost an element where like explaining it cheapens the experience
Yes.
of like writing about it?
Yes. So on the last, we had a song come out a few months ago called Pets and Drugs, and that title, obviously, you know, if you're a radio host, you're going to say, what's the song about? Like we kind of have that coming with that song title.
Yeah.
But me and Elliot, we just said, because we do most of the press, we just said, hey, when it comes up, we're just going to say we're not talking about it. And it's the first time we've really put our foot down. Because I feel like back in the day, before there was all this, there's so much content now. But back in the day, like, did you ever see Chris Martin, like, talking about every lyric?
No.
It was kind of left to
No.
the imagination, and you
Yeah.
could just take what you wanted from it.
Interpretation as
Yeah.
opposed to.
I've actually never
You're
heard him talk about it.
Yeah, and or like freaking, I don't know, Caleb Followill from Kings of Leon. I can't picture a video or a clip that I've seen of him like breaking a song down, you know.
No.
And I think that was better as a fan. So I'm not gonna say that's always going to be our policy, but it was kind of nice to just say,
To do that.
think of it in your own way, whatever.
So what is the song about?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So you're hitting it big. Well, 6 months in, you're now fucking recording in New York. You come back, like, what's the next phase of it look like? What happens after that?
I guess it was learning to play live, because like we
But how
had
do
a
you
few
grow? Like, how big do you get in a sort of space of time? Like,
well, we went from like playing maybe our first shows. We probably only did 3 or 4 shows maybe before New York.
yeah.
And that was at like Candies. Remember Candies?
Fuck yeah.
So
Fucking
like
oath.
it was that back when that was like still happening.
So
So,
much
World
fun.
Bar, 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Candies,
Love that.
all that kind of
RIP,
cross stuff.
That's special stuff.
It was. But yeah, before we went to New York, we were doing 200 people kind of shows, and we went overseas. And then we came back to sort of our first festivals and Splendor in the Grass and all that stuff. But we didn't know how to fucking play. Like, I think back to now, like, that first show at Candies, we didn't have pedal boards or anything like that.
Ah.
So for anyone who doesn't know what a pedal board is, it's a thing you plug your guitar into that, and there's a tuner on there, and there's a distortion pedal and all that. But mainly you just need the tuner.
Right.
We would literally get on stage and plug directly into this amp, and in front of the audience before we started playing, Elliot would hit an E on the keyboard and go dong, E, 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 E. We would tune in front of the audience to a piano. They just watch us dick around for like 5 minutes trying to tune to a piano, and then we'd be like, okay, now the performance will begin. Here we go. So that's where we were at before New York. And then we came back to festivals.
Splendor, is that what you're telling me?
Fuck no. And it took us years, honestly, to get to a point where I think, we were pretty good then. Like, it was just a lot of learning.
But you're coming back from New York, and what? Like, how soon after New York are you playing fucking Splendor? Like, that's like
A few months, I think.
Really?
Few months.
I think so. Yeah, we played GW McLennan, and the tent was full. Just chockers.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that experience like? I imagine that must have just been like overwhelming
ever.
almost in
Yeah.
a great way.
Yeah, it was. And we kind of fucked up because I think we're playing on the Sunday and we went there on the Friday, and we're just young, excited dudes camping. So we
you
went
camped.
hard for 2 days.
And you can't.
We can't.
They don't give you like a fucking plush little bloody tent to sleep in or something?
No, not at that point. No,
Yeah.
we just camped. We were with our mates. We were stoked.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a good spot. Like, we were pretty much camping behind the main stage.
Oh, hectic.
But it was muddy and it was wild, and by the time Sunday came, we were just broken. So I think
You're showing
Scotty was spewing into a bucket while drumming, pretty much.
Damn.
But still a great memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes it even better.
Are you addicted to the feeling of like playing in front of live audiences like that?
Yeah. But yeah. If you turn up and there's not that many people there, like if we go to like Europe or something and we maybe book a too big a venue,
Yeah.
I'm addicted to not feeling like that as well. Like, it's almost, it's just avoiding that feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Looking
See,
at
I've had I've had one feeling. I haven't had the other. I've had the empty room feeling.
Oh fuck yeah, we've had the empty room.
I haven't had a big
pods?
crowd feeling.
So back when we were, and we may have told this story on here before, I can't remember, but we were back much too soon before we should have been doing anything.
Probably
live.
5 years ago.
Yeah, about
I'd say.
5 or 6 years ago, pub in Enmore. I fucking forget.
Harbour View?
No, Botany View.
Botany View.
And Paddy, the dude who runs it, was like, he was like, 4 shows this month every Wednesday. Can you guys do a live show? And we were like, fuck it, why not? So we had like one was State of Origin, like you get Josh Reynolds in there, but you've got State of Origin. Then another one, maybe
And all our mates came.
all our mates came. Then like maybe another State of Origin or something. Everyone comes again. Then it was like rugby union, Jeremy Paul and Justin Harrison. They got absolutely shit-faced. And basically we didn't speak the whole time. They were maggot, just like going at each other.
Oh my God.
Still had people there. The next one was piss and rain. We didn't book anyone. And then it was like the Soccer World Cup was on. And I'm sure you know Zelko Kalic
Who's that?
of third string Australian goalkeeper.
You don't know the third string Australian
Zivko
soccer
what?
route?
Zelko Kalic, the Croatian-born Australian third
No,
string.
I'm not meant to know him, right? I'm not meant
I
to
didn't
know.
know who he was until the day we got Zelko. And shout out to Zelko, good man. Like he was a great dude, but like not exactly getting people.
Who
through
booked
the-
him?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I booked Zelko.
Out of desperation.
yeah.
And again, no disrespect to Zelko.
We were going to get Zach Pritchard up.
We were just going to get
Shout
our
out to our
mate,
mate.
up to just come and talk soccer because we're like, fuck. Anyway, piss and rain, Zelko Kalic on stage, empty. And I don't mean like a couple, empty. People were in the like dining section of the place. No one in there. Zelko brought his like mates who they were all going to go to the fucking Cass or something afterwards. So like they weren't there to see us.
It's one of those things where they walk like, because it's so empty and you're in a kind of a public space, you have people that walk in to like just have a beer and then realise they don't want to be in. They leave when they see you.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was an awkward energy. Basically,
We've had that.
We just turned and faced each other and we're like, well, we're at least recording this. Let's just turn this into a podcast. So look, we have, we get it. We actually probably get it more than you do.
It hurts.
Oh, we get it. Don't worry about that.
But when it's going good,
Yeah.
like when you guys do the Caxton stuff and stuff, right? When it's just heaving.
Yeah.
Good
It's-
feeling.
Oh,
Same
fuck
thing.
yeah. It's the best. It's mad fun.
Yeah.
So, when do you, so you do Splendor, right? But so how's that first album go? And what's the release like? Is there I assume you're shitting yourself, but you guys are you're on a bit of a heater. There was a heap of fucking vibe around the Rubens, I remember. At the time.
Yeah. No, I think at that point we were just saying our expectations were really low. Like we were just like, all right, let's hope that we can do Splendor again then, or let's hope that Triple J. I think we were telling ourselves even if nothing, if we don't go further than this, this is sick.
Yeah.
And we were in a good headspace, but it kept going. We had we got signed by an international American label at the same time later that year, so we're going over and doing festivals in the States and all that stuff. So it wasn't like it was just Splendor box ticked. And now we just do the Australian thing for a bit. There was new stuff happening constantly. So it was just sick. The first record went gold, which for a record is real hard.
Yes.
And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I think that was the only album, full album. Maybe the second one went gold too. But we got a plaque and all that stuff. So it was just a series of just mini achievements that were just the most incredible thing ever.
Yeah.
Back to those days when there was no expectations at all. Everything was fun,
What was it like with your family? So there's three. You got a shitload of siblings. There's 6 of you,
Oh yeah, 1 of 6, yeah.
and then 3 of the boys in the band.
Yeah.
What's the family vibe like?
I reckon it's good. I think creatively, when you're making music or making decisions about your career or business decisions, you kind of have to be able to be a cunt sometimes or just be really direct.
We don't say cunt on this podcast.
Oh, fuck. You bastard. You kind of have to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to take it and you've just got to be able to get it, just get to the point and move on without feelings being hurt. And I feel like as siblings, you can kind of do that because we're siblings who love each other and get along really well. But you can kind of cut the bullshit. Luckily, we've got Scotty and Will, who aren't our siblings, in the band as well, because that breaks things up.
Yep.
I feel like being in a band with 5 brothers, we wouldn't talk about anything.
Yeah.
When me, Elliot, and Zach go for a beer because the other boys don't want to while we're on tour, we just kind of sit there because we got nothing to say to each other.
Yeah, you said it all.
You've said it all. But no, it's nice. It's nice.
And then how do your parents and your other siblings who aren't part of it, like what's that experience like? That must be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, like especially like early on, because like my parents never really went to shows that much, and it kind of gave our parents like a whole new sort of social life. Like they would come to Splendor.
Yeah, right.
And we get tickets for everyone, and we just sort of have like another reason for us all to hang out, which we didn't have before. So obviously they're super proud of us, but they've also been there for all the incredible moments. Like we go out, if we get a record go gold or something, then you know our families will come to the dinner with the label. Like it's just it's a nice vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you always been a musical family?
No.
Like, growing up, was there always people fucking singing and drumming and
Thank
playing
God
guitar?
for that.
Tambourines and shit.
No, dude.
Recorders?
Like that. No, we weren't like one of those like sit around the piano and sing
Sing like
Christmas
Christmas
carols.
carols,
Yeah. No, we were super shy. Like we were all, like I was saying before, like we were all super shy. We learned an instrument when we were young because I feel like that was just what you did. You kind of pick an instrument for a bit. You might stick with it. You might not. You play a team sport. It's all about just growth. Maybe being out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it was just pick a sport or pick a few sports, choose an instrument, and we just stuck with it.
What sports you play?
I played some wild sports. I played ice hockey.
Fuck off,
Yeah,
really?
I played ice hockey, yeah. I just played the rest of them, like league, cricket. I played one season of cricket, so that doesn't really count.
It counts, bro.
It was fucking boring. League for school, and then I just played everything.
Well, now
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
it's
guess. Can I guess what position you were in league? I don't
Yeah.
know, right? Because obviously you're tall now, but I don't know what you were like as a young man. But you're slight as well. But
Yeah.
then maybe you were fat and then you stretched out. It's hard to sort of. I'm seeing you're a back. Like I can't see you in the forwards.
No, I wasn't a forward.
Yeah, you've got to be a centre wing sort of a guy, maybe
Halfback.
a fullback. Fuck off, you're a halfback.
Really?
I didn't have any real logic to how I was trying to work that out. I was just,
You just said that.
I was just talking.
Oh,
until
you
I
might have
got
been
up.
short. You
always
might have
just
been
letting
fat.
you talk. I think what you were doing as well is probably try to get a couple of cues off him.
Yeah,
that never
yeah,
came.
I was just letting you go.
It's
You
like-
got back
I was like a what's it when you're trying to a mentalist? Or
because you were like, were you skinny? You might have been skinny. Were you fat? You might have been
I
fat.
was trying to get.
Were
You could have been
You might
short,
have
but
been
you might have been short
You
and
might have
fat.
been short and fat. Oh, so you're a halfback.
I was just letting you finish.
So you got a bit of ball playing in you.
I mean, let's just say my school didn't have that many good players to pick from. I played a lot of
Camden's
touch,
a junior
actually.
nursery, aren't you? Camden guy. That's where a lot of fucking.
I grew
Talk
up in
about man.
Camden, but I went to Broughton. It was a school that played against. We would, for example, like our team, the first team there, we would play against like the fifth at St Greg's.
Oh yeah.
So
St.
St.
Greg's
Greg's,
were yeah.
Weapons. We would lose to like their fifth team. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we played we're in the inner west. Sorry, we're in the southwest of Sydney. So we were playing against some big boys, you know.
I played against St. Greg's once as well. They're fucking terrifying.
Yeah, and I would just get creamed. Our backline had nothing, so it gets to me, and every time all I can like, there's no shape. I'm literally just wrap it up and just get fucked up every time.
No shape. Love that.
You weren't
No
running shape.
There was no shape. It would get to me if we were lucky, and then I would just
And then you just get fucking crunched.
yeah. But it was awesome fun.
Yeah, it is
I
good
didn't play beyond that. I played a lot of touch in school as well.
A couple of St. Greg's crunchings will knock the fucking the energy out of the best of them.
Well, it just pushes you in your music, doesn't it? a couple of Greg snappings. You go, nah,
You know what?
nah.
I'm gonna write some
I
poetry.
might start singing.
I'm singing. Yeah, I knew that voice came from somewhere, mate.
Yeah, I feel the pain. There's St.
pain
Greg's
by that.
snapping.
I'm always intrigued with people that can sing well. You being one of them. About when you found your voice, so to speak. So I always think, like, because you've got to have sung to yourself at some point to be like, I've got it. Or was there a moment where someone goes, you know what, bro, you're actually pretty good? Because some people I feel like will maybe not even know until they're in their 20s necessarily that they can sing.
I think
Or
Or yeah.
Yeah, true. And I think like the skill of singing, like the actual controlling your voice and making it do what you want to do, I feel like I've gotten better and better at that over the years. The tone of your voice is something that you can't really change. You can try and imitate other people's tones, but you kind of just have, you know, it's like your speaking voices. You guys actually sound really unique. And that's the same with the singing voice. It's just like you can't change that. It's a gift.
It's a gift.
Am I right, boys?
Well,
It's a gift.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But you just got to harness that, you know?
but when did you find you had a voice? A singing voice?
I started singing like in high school, like I was just doing high school music, probably year 10.
Yep.
And I was playing guitar and singing there, just to get through my exam. Like just pick a cover, like a Bublé cover or a John Mayer cover or something, and just like do that. But I remember that my music teacher hated me. Again, sort of just favoritism. I was a bit of a smart ass, but I wasn't the worst student, and he would mark me shit. But they would have to get 2 teachers to come in to mark the more important life performances. And so there was this other teacher who actually wasn't my teacher who would come in, and they would mark together. And my teacher would give me nothing and shit all over me. And when I walked out of one of the performances, the other teacher came out and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, you should try and do this."
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mr. Stimpson. Mr. Stimpson, shout out, mate.
Shout out, Mr.
That's the one thing that
Stimpson,
stuck with me
dude.
forever, because he didn't have to do that. He came out and told me that, like, you could do this. You should stick with this.
Wow.
And then he came to one of our shows like years
Did
later.
he?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Were you
sick.
feeling a bit like, sort of, for lack of a better word, off music because of your music teacher at the time? Like, did he
little
sort of
bit.
drub the passion out of you a bit?
I think so. And I think as like a vocalist, like, it's kind of subjective, right? So like if you're watching The Voice and all those kind of shows, they just sort of reward just being able to sing and do like the freaking up
being
and down,
insane
like,
shit,
yeah, all that wild stuff, like it's a sport or a circus trick. But
Porn.
yes,
Voice porn.
voice porn. And if that's all you're watching, you're going to compare yourself to that
Yeah.
and forget that it's actually more about
Listen,
tone.
you watch a double penetration scene, you're like, I'm not up to that.
I can't do that.
I can't do that.
Yeah, but
never
that's not
doing-
love, baby. That's not love. DP's not. There's no love to be found in a DP scene. Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Tone is love. Missionary and tone. Maybe a little doggy.
If the mood strikes. Anyway, sorry.
Little
Sorry to
cowgirl
fuck it.
on a Sunday. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I do. Oh, did that go how I think thought it would go?
Oh, fuck. Sorry, dude. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
So, did music...
But hang on, shout out to Mr.
Mr.
Stimpson.
Stimpson.
Okay.
He deserves
big
his
shout
time.
out.
I think we need to just let's not gloss over that.
No.
For a teacher to come in there and go, you know what, I'm gonna need to say something's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because it impacted me in some way. I
Definitely.
did have a crack. So
And was it always something you wanted to do then, music, performing? Like, did you feel like even if it wasn't something you were admitting outwardly, but like it was just sort of there that was something you wanted to do?
I had an inkling that I could do it. I wasn't sure that, I wasn't like certain that it was what I wanted to do for a long time. If I'm talking a few years after high school,
Yeah.
I was just sort of just working out whether I was going to come back and go to uni, really. But I guess having a taste of like doing the live performance stuff in London probably helped me actually in hindsight. Like there was a few sort of shows that I did there where, yeah, someone in the audience would come up and say, "Hey, like I'm a tour manager and I maybe I could book you a couple of shows." Like things did sort of start to happen there with certain industry people coming up and all that. So I guess like as I got a bit of like people sort of just a bit of affirmation just saying like, "Hey, you could do this," I guess. It just doesn't, it's not something that you grow up thinking you can do, right? Like
No.
most people will try music for a bit and it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. So I guess for you to, at that stage in your life in high school to be like, that's what I'm going to do and I'm going to be good at it, like kind of cocky. Because there's so much shit that has to go right on top of just talent.
Yeah. But do you reckon that's something you more learn after the fact as opposed to like when you're a bit younger, like you're a bit more optimistic about fucking having a crack at anything? Or do you
True.
reckon
Yeah, taking risks, like big time. And it was just more like, I'm young, there's no pressure on me. I don't need to make money to support my family. I don't have to make a decision on what I'm going to do with my life at all. So if I just muck around with music for a few years, sweet. And I guess that the hard thing is just how do you sort of, if it didn't happen, how would I finance going forward? And there's a lot of bands that I know that stuck it out for years before they got what we got.
Yeah, right.
We didn't have to do that. And I'm not sure if I would have done it. Like we had 6 months of grinding.
How terrible.
Yeah, exactly. We're so lucky. But I think like you often see like bands, there's a lot of really, really big bands that have come from money. And I can see why that happens.
Shepherd.
It's because you got a fucking golden parachute. What'd you say? Shepherd. Yeah. Oh, there's heaps more than that.
No,
I don't want to
it's just the
shit
one
on
that I
anyone.
know
But just,
from fucking
Now, you name one.
Meeting Tree.
no, he's self-made. Rap's self-made, baby. I mean, the Strokes.
Really?
I'm not going to shit on Australian bands because there's nothing wrong with coming from money.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
No, not at all. And I'm not saying that at all. It's just I can see why it's so common in bands that make it is because a lot of people
You can afford to fail.
you can afford to have a crack.
Yeah,
like F1
right.
drivers.
Yes.
Like F1 drivers.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
Not
if
talking
I-
about you, Lewis Hamilton. Don't get angry.
No, right, yeah, because don't. Is Ricardo from fucking Dosh?
Gotta be a little bit, right?
There'd have to be. To travel around and buy the carts and all that shit. You got to have a little bit
Gotta
going
have
on.
something going on.
You know what I mean? But like,
Is Lewis the only one that sort of
I think
family had to sacrifice and
yeah, Lewis was like poor kid done good.
Really?
Sort of vibe. Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge
Whereas
fan
like
of
there's a couple of billionaires on the starting
Well,
grid.
Scotty, who's the snowboarder, Australian snowboarder? Scotty James. This is a very fucking long-winded. He's married to some chick whose brother is an F1 driver.
Lance Stroll. He's married to Chloe Stroll.
There you go,
Yeah.
Billy's.
Yeah, and Lance Stroll just keeps crushing, and he won't lose his spot because
Yeah.
Daddy owns the team.
Oh,
yeah.
does he?
Yeah. It gets even like more hectic.
Oh wow! Like,
Yeah.
I can
Owns the
be an
team.
F1 driver forever, even if I can't drive. Sick.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually, there's something about that I think's fucking cool. Well, not cool, but fun.
Well, not cool, but like
Dribbly.
It's dangerous.
that's actually a better word.
That's a better way to put it. Yeah, no, it is. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
When you got signed to that global label, what's that process like? Like, are you in a room with some fat cats and bigwigs and fucking like, or are you? Obviously, the power dynamic is heavily weighted in their favor. I would assume, at least in that moment. What's the whole process like?
Well, lucky you're kind of insulated from that shit because you got your management already sort of doing the
So
stuff.
you've got
for
like
you.
local management,
Yeah, well, so we had at the time we had American management and Australian management.
right?
The American management were out there shopping our record because
Okay.
we carved it out basically. So it wasn't like we did a worldwide deal out of Australia. We carved out Australia so we could go and find another deal in America, find another deal in Europe because we had the interest.
Right.
But we signed to Warner's in America. And yeah, we just got a phone call one morning because it was like 5 a.m. and my manager in the States just called me going, "You're a millionaire, buddy." I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? He's like, "You're a millionaire." And I'm like, what the hell, dude? He's told me that we just signed a record deal and it wasn't $1 million. but yeah, so
Really fucking honey dicked you.
yeah.
Just wanted to excite you.
Oh, I mean, it was probably close to it, but it all got spent on that studio that we worked in.
Wow.
So the bill that we spent on making the second record would make your eyes water.
Really?
Yeah. So you get a record deal. You don't get that money in your pocket. That's to go and spend in a pretty antiquated industry of making records in the old school way and spending a fortune. So it all just disappeared into.
So do you think antiquated in the sense that like you don't need to, like you could just do it yourself these days? Is
Well, we
that-
do it ourselves now.
Yes, you got don't you get your bunker out and
We got the
fucking-
bunker, yeah. And I mean, a lot of artists, as you know, like solo artists, DJs and stuff, they're just going to do it on their laptop. And they'll get a producer to tickle it up at the end. So there's so much you can do now. If you got the money to spend to go over to that New York studio, like, I would recommend it, but it's going to
Okay,
cost
so
you
you
like
still think it's
hundreds of
worth-
thousands of dollars to make an album.
It's like not worth it, but worth it.
Oh, it was a great experience because it wasn't our money we were playing with, you know?
Yeah.
Like, in the end, it was paid for by an American company, major label.
Yeah.
And we had the best experience ever for 2 albums. And we learned a heap, like, we learned so much about the process from working with, like, the engineers and the producers and stuff that now our bass player has his own studio and we can sort of take all that shit that we learned,
Yeah.
producery stuff, and we don't need a producer to be in the studio with us anymore.
Fully.
Yeah.
Forgive my naivete, but what does a record label do now? Like, what's their like main?
I mean, financing still. So, like,
They'll pay. Will they like give you an advance to
yeah.
write and then record, and then they pay for the recording of an album?
Yeah, so they'll give you an advance for like a recording budget, basically, if you're making an album, and then they'll also give you an advance as well, which is just the cash advance, which just gets splits up between commissions and the rest of the band.
Yep.
Which is never much because you don't really want to take much because you got to pay it back.
Yeah.
So that's something that you kind of learn pretty quick that you just want to take what you need and then try and make the rest of the money from just being out there touring.
Yep.
Or from publishing, which is a whole different story. But yeah, you don't want to go into debt too much. It's just nice that like that. So that's on the front end of it. Like they'll give you the money to make an album, but then they have their whole marketing, PR, radio, all that stuff.
Right.
So that's the big thing.
Yeah. So they've got, relationships with Kiss FM, for example.
100%. They have a
I'll get
radio
you on
person
there.
that goes
Yep.
to those places every day with their artists and, just runs
Okay.
the show. So it would be really hard to do it. Some artists do it independently completely, but I'm happy to rely on them for that stuff.
Yeah,
What
for
about touring? Do they handle that side of thing?
So a booking agent will handle that stuff.
But are they linked?
No, so we got a separate booking agency.
Right. Completely
And
separate.
yeah, but they'll still collaborate a lot. So if we've got hey, we're putting out an album next October and this is our plan for the next 4 singles between now and then, there'll be a conversation with our management involved, the label and the booking agent, sort of just a coordinated sort of, this is going to be our plan to help promote the record, So it's like they work together all the time, but
How
is this boring?
No,
dude,
I'm actually...
no.
I'm
Because it sounds so boring to me.
No, yeah, of course it does
But,
to you.
but
No,
you're
no,
too
no.
close to it.
I am
Whereas
too
I'm
close to
fucking loving this
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying.
well,
I'm going to go.
any questions. Yeah, go for it.
How much has it changed since when you first started to now in terms of the split between touring and the money you make off streaming or record sales?
I reckon it's changed every single record. So we've got 4 out,
Yep.
and every record, the strategy has changed. The way the finances work has changed. So we used to sell, like I said, on that first album, a whole album, physical CDs. We got gold on that.
On physical CD.
Yeah, pretty much. Streaming sort of helped a little bit back then, but it was pretty much just physical.
What year was this?
2011, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
2011.
think I had streaming back then. No way.
Yeah, so that was back the last sort of era of selling physical CDs, and that was profitable. That, even though we had to pay the label back, that worked. And then streaming sort of started to come in, but things have changed so much, to the point now where, streaming. If you look at the numbers on what we might make over 1 million streams, you'd be shocked. So that's not going to cut it. We're not going to make a living.
It's like
band members.
it's like staggeringly low.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's so low. Yeah. So we've got a tour and we're fine with that because we love touring. So that's sweet. But even just the way you promote music, the way that, I've got to say, the radio isn't as important anymore. Last album cycle that we did, you would have radio stations looking at what streaming sort of numbers you were doing to get in there. Now it's not even really that impactful. It's all about just playlisting now. So it's every single time we release an album, there's a different thing.
What do you mean by playlisting?
So it's about just getting your song into a playlist.
Oh, popular playlists.
Popular playlist, yeah. So
on Spotify.
Yeah, so you got your label pitching to Spotify your album or your song, saying, "Hey, this could be really good. You should listen to this one. This could be a good hot hits of summer song." Maybe it's they're plugging it straight to the streaming services, like they would, 5 years ago to your different radio stations.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the most important thing by far is just getting your streaming numbers up.
It's funny because I don't. And I'm not.
But as in, just to clarify, the streaming numbers going up is a good indicator of how well you can sell a tour.
That's a whole nother thing, right?
Because I'm curious because you're saying this the money you get off streaming's fucked. So what is having good streaming eyeballs or earlobes equate to?
That's a good point. The radio will look at streaming still. So it all kind of works together still. Radio is still important, but it's not the only thing anymore. And it's not even as important as streaming.
Yep.
You used to be able to literally just go to Triple J. If you got away at Triple J, then you're selling out Enmore Theatre. It was just simple. Now it's if your streaming numbers are up, maybe a publishing company looking to sync one of your songs to a movie is going to be hearing it or saying, "Oh, those streaming numbers are good," or if it goes well on TikTok and blows up, then it's going to be on an ad next week. It's all that stuff.
I was
Isn't
thinking
that
that
fucking crazy how much
TikTok
it is
songs that go viral are are you sort of made after that happens?
Some people are there's certain people, Australian artists that we've known that have had a song from 8 years, 9, 10 years ago suddenly just become the song of the month on TikTok. That's just on every video and they make $1 million.
Might have to start whacking some driss tracks on there. Isn't that must be a trip though, seeing how much it's changed and the things that you need to focus on and how TikTok can just come in and now it's something you need to think about.
It is something we have to think about, social media plans, content days, shooting stuff, all that stuff, trying to make it still feel like us.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I hate it. Like, everyone in the band hates it. And I think
Yeah.
pretty much every artist really
bet.
does, unless they're one of those artists that started as an influencer and then went to music.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, no, I guess in terms of just the business of music, right? Like, and obviously you're making you're writing and producing everything, but then once it's made, that whole process of like getting it out there has changed.
It's changed so much. And like, I was talking about this with another label mate of mine the other day. I was just saying, like, you can have all the strategy in the world, but people aren't focusing on the most important thing, which is just making the best possible song. Doesn't have to be a whole album. Just you just need a fucking incredible song, and the songwriting itself, production, all that stuff. You can do all the TikToks you want. Like, you can go and just tick all the label boxes of like how to run your social media, all that kind of stuff. But if the song isn't incredible, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go viral.
Yes.
You know, like, so I think like an incredible song has always proved itself to be life-changing for an artist. You look at like Riptide by Vance Joy. I remember we heard that song. We were playing South by Southwest with him, and that song hadn't come out yet. And we have the same like lawyer in the States, and he came up to me. He was like, "Dude, listen to this Riptide song by Vance. Like, it's gonna do big things for him. Trust me." And we heard him play it on the acoustic guitar, and I was like, "Yeah, it's fucking pretty good, eh? Shit." And then look at it now. It's still the number one song. It's the number one song on iTunes in Australia right now. It has been for like 2 months. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah, I guess it's having some kind of
Just some
success
sort of-
overseas somewhere, whatever. Like, it just
sort of happens.
It keeps going, dude. And that's just like, there's that kind of thing. It's just like, that's because of the song. It wasn't because he did a dance to it.
Or the
on TikTok.
strategy that fucking was put in place.
It wasn't because people started like, dropping it down to that song.
Nothing went viral. It's just, I mean, actually, you know what? He did get Ashton Kutcher. I think Ashton Kutcher tweeted about that song. Was it that one?
Fucked if I know. When did he tweet about it?
I think so.
Like
Double
recently?
Ashton Kutcher, did he? Or he tweeted about an Australian. Oh, it might have been Angus and Julia. He blew up one of the songs in Australia. I just know that.
Of Vance Joy's?
It might have been Vance Joy, or it might have been.
Can't find much about Ashton Kutcher and Vance Joy.
Okay, I'll think about it. He tweeted about someone. That was like the early days of like sending something viral as well. It was like 8 years ago. One tweet.
And
Kutcher.
then it fucking goes.
Yeah. But anyway, my point is,
Now
just people need to
virality's
focus on the
so
good stuff.
It's so different now, virality. In the sense of like something can go viral for like a day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like if you went viral back in the day, you stayed viral.
There's also something very cheap about the desperate pursuit of virality where you're just like,
You can't let it run anything you do. You
No.
can't, if you're making a music video, if you're making some kind of content, if you think about trying to go viral, you're not going to fucking go viral.
There's no way. in the
There's
world.
no way.
There's
Say that
there's
word.
no rhyme or reason to
no,
it.
there's not. Like we, just again by virtue of the fact that we're in the job we're in, like we have a TikTok and we fucking have our Instagram, we do this shit, but like
Never.
we don't like.
Well, this is the songwriting here, right? Like, this is the point, at the core. You're able to do all the other stuff because of just doing this stuff, the pod, right?
Yes.
And then you take the opportunities that come your way and you try and, build the brand, all that stuff. But it all has to come with good shit happening
Listen,
here.
you don't get sent free shapes for fucking
Exactly.
TikToks, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, I think Ashton Kutcher tweeted about somebody that I used to know.
There you go. That's the one.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. But
That
that was a
now,
huge boost to that song.
pumped its dick off.
Yeah, it really did.
I hadn't heard or thought about Gautier for a while.
Until just then. Probably.
Yeah, no, but
Probably,
it popped
but-
up into my brain a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Fucking Gautier."
I hadn't heard him for probably 2 years, 3 years.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Did that song come out in the same year that Pup fucking got his 300 at the SCG against India? Don't know.
Well, no, that you're probably talking about a Hottest 100 same year.
Maybe, but
It was
I
released
just remember.
2011.
Huh?
Released 2011.
I think Pup. Well, maybe.
Up maybe 2012.
When did Pup get his 300 at the SCG? It just feels like that time. I'm
2013
feeling hotness. I'm feeling summer. I'm feeling
13, 14.
Pup batting for 3
That
days.
song did pump for like 3 years.
Dude,
straight.
Yeah, that was summer of 11-12.
Fuck,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
good, dude. Yes.
Wow.
It's good.
That was some savant
Well, because if
shit.
it came out in 11, then it would have been Hottest 100, 11, and 12.
I just remember being at the
Yes.
boys' house
that
and
make
for
sense?
3 days, Pup's batting, and for some reason I can see Gautier's fucking face. Anyway,
Did he win?
surely. Did he win?
Did he?
Yeah.
There you go. Triple J tattoo
How
on his
was-
leg.
Where's your tattoo?
Show him. It's
Come on,
you won't
get
see
your
his
tat
dick.
up.
I don't- You know, it's not dick close, is it?
Don't show him your penis.
You gotta don't show him your
Don't
penis.
show him your
right? Don't
penis.
show our guests your penis.
It's big too, dude. It's so big.
And the other bit's a Toblerone because his last name's Tobler.
That's incredible. That is so good. Are you still a big fan?
Not so much anymore.
Seeing him do up his fly just while you're talking
I
to
know,
him is so
it's a
fucking
lot.
off-putting.
Not so much anymore.
Nah, not so much anymore.
I think it's just an age thing. I think like as you age out of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And people are like on Triple J, they're all like, "Oh, it's not the fucking same anymore." Blah 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 blah. And it's just like, yeah, we just reached that age, I guess.
That's what we were trying.
Just-
We were
just
discussing
happens.
that before because Dave also a big. I mean, he doesn't have the tattoo. He's not all in.
Tattoo.
But we were discussing about whether Triple J has like fallen off or whether it's the.
I think the radio numbers overall have gone down, right?
Well,
we all
they
know
have.
those
That's
figures. That's gone
irrefutable.
down,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's pretty much across the board. I know they've lost a little bit, but the kids are still loving it.
Yeah.
That's their target market.
Yeah.
They're sort of playing towards that market. That's the kind of host they have, and kids are still into it. They kind of have to keep looking. Like it's like, I guess, like us making albums. Every time you make a new one, you've got to try and reach the new generation of people coming up and getting off shit music and hopefully listening to more contemporary music. Like
Yes.
the fresh 18-year-olds who are starting to like go off your Demi Lovato's and whatnot and
Shout out to
try out band music, right? So, but you've got to do that work every time. And it's probably the same thing with Triple J. It's like they can't just stay with people my age. Like they can't just keep targeting my age as it gets older and older.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'd be
'Cause then you're triple A.
that'd be 2 GB.
Yeah.
Very
Well, eventually,
2 GB.
yeah,
babe.
yeah. By the end of it,
Yeah. So do you then, is there any like conscious, like how do you target younger people basically yourself?
I think we don't really. I mean, to be honest, we just hope every time. We just hope that young people still show up to our shows. Like we got loyal fans who have been with us since the start, and they're like my age. I'm like 35. Like they're still coming as well, and older fans too. But I guess like every time we put out a record and go on tour, I'm secretly just hoping there's a bunch of young kids in the front still.
Yeah.
Because it just means longevity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No, so, but I would never make a decision like in the songwriting process. Yeah, I hate it when people use really contemporary lyrics like TikTok. You know, something that's going to age in 2 years really badly. Like if you throw that into a song,
Yeah.
like if you talk about like WhatsApping me or something, you know, and just to try and get
just
that
to try and
audience
sound that sugar hit of fucking
right of nowness.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to
Fucking
tailor anything to the kids.
No.
You don't feel the need to get like a 17-year-old sort of another band member just to like some really young trendy cunt that's just going to keep things fresh.
No,
Fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
you just get someone to do that in our music videos or something. Like,
Yeah.
What's music videos like? Has that changed? I remember like early 2000s when someone dropped a music video, that was fucking the thing, right?
Yep.
Obviously, when you guys hit it, like it was sort of maybe a bit after that. Maybe there was still music videos.
No, it was still a thing for sure.
Saturday
Still a
mornings,
big fucking thing.
Yeah, it was. For the first few years it was. And like we made a great music video for the last song that just came out. But then we're in that sort of point now where we're discussing with our label, like, hey, do we want to spend the money on a video? Like, I don't think so. It's not a thing. Like it's you just put up a lyric video. And again, if the song's great, it's going to do the work.
Yeah.
Because it costs a lot, right? To make something look good, even like I feel like music production is so much cheaper than it used to be. But to get a crew and a camera crew and do all the post production, all that shit, it's a lot of money.
That
We could just
hasn't
spend that. We could spend that on just advertising. Take that $20K music budget and just spend it on digital marketing for the band. You know, it's probably going to be better.
How much of the
And music videos suck to make as well. No bands like making them.
Why is that?
It's probably just because you didn't get into, like most people didn't get into music to be in front of the camera.
Yep.
And they're long, and often you don't like them in the end anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How long? Well, it seems like you're across the business side, and you got a label as well, now, don't you? What's it called?
Yeah, we got a joint venture with Warner, Purple Phase.
Purple Phase.
Yeah, which has been interesting, like getting to see the inside of.
That's what I was going to ask,
industry.
right? Like you're on the other side there, and like how much of the time being in the band, like were you actively across like the business side of things?
I used to be really across it. Like I used to go to meetings with the lawyer in the States, and just because I was truly intrigued, not because I wanted to be a control freak. I just liked getting to know it. But like we have an incredible manager, Greg, who kind of just made me realize, I'm just going to leave this to you, dude. For a long time there, it was just tell us what to do. We'll give you our input, but we're happy to sort of take we trust our label, we trust our manager.
Yeah.
So I got the industry, but it's also, like I said, it's so fast changing that I just don't have the energy, or I haven't had the energy in the past to really try and keep up. But it's been super interesting having a record label. I mean, I've got partners, like there's a bunch of us in the label. But it is fun. It's fun. I guess
What was the impetus to do that?
I think we often take out really young artists when we go on tour. We do like regional touring quite a bit. When we're not doing the major cities, we'll go and do like a far north Queensland tour or something. And we often take a really green young artist that we find on somewhere on Spotify or something. And I guess from doing that, just realizing how exciting it is for them, but also how much they don't yet know, made us realize, like, because we'd just be in the van with these guys and girls for like days on end, and they'd just be asking us question after question, and we're realizing actually we have fucking something to give here. Like we've been doing this for a while, so we thought it was more of just in the label side of things. It wasn't let's go and make money, because we understand that it's pretty unlikely as a record label, but it was like we've teamed up with Warner's have the budget. We can take some of like a small amount of this budget and we can use it to find cool artists and help basically just give them money to go and make music. And then we sort of help, I guess, because we do produce music as well. We can get in the studio with them if they need it. We can take them and show them what it's like to perform live. We can do rehearsals with them. It's more just like band boot camp, and you get paid to like go and make music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is.
And you
It's
enjoying
cool.
it?
I'm enjoying it. Like, yeah.
Who's the kid? There's I don't know if it's there's some dude that you've got at the moment who I've seen
Steven?
clips of. Yeah, it might be Steven.
Yeah, he's incredible. We were a fan of Steven like back in the day. He had a song that blew up on SoundCloud in like 2018 or something, called Time. It's a fucking awesome song. And then we were just fans of his, so we took him on tour and then stayed mates with him and eventually convinced him to sign to our record label. So yeah, it's good.
Hectic.
He's a weapon.
How's Stephen going?
He's good. He's been busy touring. He's heading over to the States soon to do some songwriting.
Yeah.
He's got a debut album that we're sort of talking about now. These days it's pretty rare to make an album, but I feel like his fans are kind of ready for a body of work.
Rare to make an album in that you just can subsist on singles. Just
A lot of artists do, yeah, like DJs and stuff and R&B artists and stuff. You can just single after single. But I think Stephen lives in a world that isn't so straight up R&B. Like, he's got like a live band and he's a multi-instrumentalist. So I feel like the kind of album he could write would actually be worth writing.
right.
Yeah.
And he's just Steven.
Steven, yeah.
I like that.
Stevan.
VAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
First name Ian. Sorry, Stephen, I shouldn't have said
Oh,
that.
really? Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry to out you there.
Yeah.
Ian.
Beep it out.
Yeah, beep it out.
No, you can leave it in.
You won fucking Triple J Hottest 100.
Yeah.
Like that's
a flex.
like that's a huge flex. What year was it?
15 or 16.
Yeah.
Get your dick out of his mouth, toddler.
You didn't even have to Google that. Legend. That's awesome.
But like, what an insane sort of thing to happen in Australia for like it's not like it's just limited to Australian bands either, right? Like, but being an Australian band winning Triple J's Hottest 100.
Yeah, huge. Especially then, like it was. I mean, it's still big now, obviously.
But it
Massive.
was when 2015 was still when it was like Hottest 100 parties. Everyone's still doing the thing. Maybe they're still doing that. I don't know, but like.
Yeah, it was. It was insane. We had no expectation whatsoever to win it. I think only in the sort of the week or two leading up to it did we think we might be top 10. Just looking at sports bet, like that's all we do.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's all the
Neds.
bands. All the bands
Neds.
are just looking at Neds. I'll be checking Neds this year. But yeah, just looking at like betting
Yeah.
shit, because like that's your best like
Indicator.
for sure. So we had a look and we were like in the top, looking like the top 10 then, and we're like, okay, holy shit, like that's crazy. But we were playing at the tennis at the Australian Open on the day of.
Yeah.
We're playing at like 5 p.m. And so as we're playing songs, I'd finish a song and I had a few like fans in the audience that I would just say, hey, like, what are we up to? And like, so the fans would update us on where we're at in between songs. And like,
Seriously?
blah, 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 just got number, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, sweet, thank you. And then it's like, keep playing because we're nervous, but having to finish this set.
Yeah.
And our song hasn't come yet. And we're like, fuck.
And how far into the day are we here?
Oh, it's 5 p.m. We started the set. So it's probably like in
You'd
the
almost
top
be
20
finishing
or
just
15.
before
Top
you
20,
Yeah.
yeah. It's getting
into its
serious.
work.
Yeah.
Because the number one's like around like it's almost gone dark.
It's 7-ish or 8?
Yeah, 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah. So we finished the set, and then by that point, I know it was into the top 10. And Triple J had said to us, we knew this the day before. They were like, "Hey, can you go in down to the ABC studio when you finish your set, just for an interview about the Hottest 100?" But so that made us think, "Oh shit, we're going to be high. We're going to be high." But we also knew that there was a few other Australian bands. We knew stories of bands that were in contention for the top 5. And Triple J had sent video teams in past years, like to their house party, sent over a video crew, and they got 2nd or 3rd. Yeah. So we're all over analyzing everything that comes our way, right? Like that's how we're thinking. We're doing research, calling people. Like anyway, we get in the van and we drive down the street to Triple J, and by the time we get there, I think it's like maybe 6 or 7. So we're like, fuck, we're about to be in the top 5. And all they tell us is go in, sit down. There was only one dude in the whole building. Just sat down. He was like, all I know is I've been told to put the camera on you. I don't know where you're coming. I'm sorry. I'm just going to record you. Put the headphones on, listen to the show, and the boys will come on and talk to you in a second.
Fuck. So you're like having to sit there. You actually had to
sit through the top 6.
Shit. But so you're not even like partying or anything. You're just like
you just got to.
It's almost business time a little bit.
It was, but it was just like we were just sitting there, just sweating. And
had you been in the top 10 before? Is it?
No, I think we got 20.
I think my gun was 10.
Was it?
Yeah.
Get your dick out of his mouth.
You guys are amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen you guys live like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
he reckons you're like best mates.
We've met before. We've got a photo together.
Holy shit! Did you guys tell him that?
No. I know.
Yeah,
How the fuck do you know? Has he said that somewhere though? Like
no, we met outside of something.
How the fuck do you remember that?
On King Street in Newtown.
Why was it though? We were doing something.
No, I don't think it was. It was just randomly one day.
I know because of Ridge. Ridge was there.
Okay.
And Ridge put us onto you guys, and he knew who you were.
Yeah.
Or he saw a photo come up or something.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ridge.
See?
Okay, there we go.
Dave's photo.
This is cute. This is cute.
Unlock it, dude. It's phone. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. You have to unlock your phone, dude.
Oh, no.
Come on. Calm down, mate.
Oh, dude.
Calm down, mate.
That is fucking hilarious.
Isn't it? Isn't that funny? Look at Dave.
Oh, my God. You look so... we all look different. Let's be honest. We all look real different. I'm happy with where we're at.
Was that a nice moment?
That was lovely. Look, we both met before we were at this level of fame. And
Yeah.
He said before,
He
actually said, and I quote Dave here, he said, I met Sam before we were both famous.
I was pretty famous.
They were pretty famous.
That's what he said.
They were pretty famous, but that was pre-Hottest 100.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
Famous,
was that pre-Hottest 100?
Yeah, that was November 2015. So
Holy
I think we knew the fuck Sam was at that stage, buddy.
I don't know if we knew you, bro.
I can't believe I said I was pretty famous.
No, don't worry. You did.
Nah, leave it in.
Yeah, leave it in. We'll put that as a clip. Promo the fucking.
Yeah.
Don't you put that. No, you can stitch me up. That's fine.
So you're sitting there.
Sweating it out. Like, every time a song got called out, we're like, fuck off. All right, we're down to number 4.
And there was some, like, it's always, I guess, big dicks, like, in that stage of the...
I can't remember what number 4 was, but at number 4 of the probable songs left, you know that you're in there, right? Because right, so...
Imagine if they'd stitch you up deluxe and you weren't even in 100.
We're still thinking that was possible at like number 4, right?
Number 5 and 4 were both Tame Impala songs. It was Let It Happen and Less I Know the Better back to back.
Then Major Lazer.
Yep.
So Major Lazer was 3, and then King Kunta was number 2.
Fuck, so just all like hectic.
So it was us, Major Lazer, and Kendrick vying for the top 3. And at that point, we're just like, oh my God. But then, Major Lazer happened, and at that point, we were just in party mode. We're jumping around, we're in the top 2, but it's going to be Kendrick.
Yeah.
And then we're all sitting there with our headphones on. You can watch the clip online. It's a good clip, because, it'll just make you fucking happy. Sick. Us going wild.
Yeah.
And it comes on and says, well, the whole Triple J spiel, the Hottest 100, number 2, language warning. And we're like, we don't have a language warning on our song. And everyone just looked at each other and threw their headphones off and just went fucking ape shit.
Wow.
Everyone went mental. And so as soon as that song came on.
Cut the video in now so everyone can see it, and then we'll just watch it afterwards.
We're at the business end. We're at the pointy end. We're at the rear end. Whichever end it is, we're there. Here is number 2 in Triple J's Hottest 100 of 2015. Number 2 in Triple J's Hottest 100.
So nearly there.
I got a bone to pick. What?
I'm gonna fucking pass out. Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's a
that
feel good
video.
thing, man. Like,
Fucking love that.
if you can watch that and not feel something, you're a
psychopath.
Yeah, psychopath.
Yeah, you need
it's
to
a
go.
good test.
yeah, it is.
If you don't, slip into this straitjacket, please, man.
What'd you do after? What'd you do that night? You just rip?
Oh, we went out for a dinner with the label and management and family and stuff. But we're in Melbourne for that, so we went out for a dinner. But we had to get up at super early to go on TV, on ABC TV. And then the thing is, we had to actually, because you know how like a version is pre-recorded.
Yes.
Everyone knows these days.
Yes.
But we had to get up the next morning to go to record our Leica version in Sydney.
Oh,
so we had a
bullshit.
hectic shit day the next day.
Was that though? Is that
That
always
was the
what they
next
do, or is that
day.
just like an unfortunate
It
timing?
was just unfortunate timing. We won the Hottest 100 the night before and had to get up and be up at 6 a.m, fly to Sydney and do our recording.
Oh fuck!
And the
That
funny
is
thing-
a brutal schedule.
It was horrible. Well, I mean, that night we partied. But the funny thing is that this is before we even knew that we had a chance. We had decided that we are going to cover King Kunta. Mashed up with Adele. So it looked like we were just taking a dig at him the next day.
shit.
Because we covered the number 2 song.
Wow.
But yeah, the next night we had a
then you
great
have
time. I mean, it felt like a year long or a few months of
Celebration.
just feeling like you forget for a second, then you remember that it happened.
And
And
you're
you're
like,
just like, fuck.
holy shit.
Yeah, I could go back to that moment even now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just
Little
get
boost.
pumped again.
Yeah.
Because it is a wild. That's a. I think like it's just a crazy like an iconic Australian thing as well.
It's a nostalgic thing to win almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's so ingrained in our culture.
Yeah. Yeah, and it puts you alongside some pretty hectic.
Some big names.
Yeah.
Couple of Bernards in there. I
Couple
think.
of Fannings.
Couple of Fannings.
Couple of Nards.
I must thank you for putting that golf day on, actually.
Yeah, I know.
He gave us one of the great fucking cocksucky moments, autofellatio moments.
Well, because I
that
tell
like-
people that story. They go, "Fuck off." I go, "Mate, I know."
So he came up to you guys, right?
Yeah.
There was no. He just.
He was taking
turned
too
to
long
you.
at the bar, and I was like,
they were just standing next to each other at the bar. I was behind Eddie.
Was it
and he
you? Was it you two?
So it was Eddie in front, Eddie and Bernard. And Bernard's just like sitting there like facing the away.
But I can't see Bernard. He's taking his time too, so I'm sort of looking at Bernard like, is this guy fucking taking?
But you were just,
taking a long
but
time.
you were both standing there at the bar, and it was just you just couldn't. I just didn't know the fuck. I wasn't expecting it to be Bernard Fanning.
Yes.
And then he turns, he goes Eddie, and I'm like, how the fuck's this guy know Eddie? And then I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's fucking Bernard Fanning. And then Eddie's looking at him, and I'm like, you better know this cunt is Eddie, or I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then Eddie's like, oh, and it was.
But
just,
it took me fucking ages to realise because you don't.
People out
it's
of
just not in
context,
your
eh?
head.
Out of
bro.
context,
It's just
yeah.
not in your head. Like I'm there buying a beer because I'm a little bit stoned and I'm at this golf day and we don't even know the fuck you. We haven't even met you yet. And then it's just
You're also
people-
not expecting Bernard Fanning of
Who
Bernard
is
Fanning.
who
fame.
is expecting that?
No.
You're not expecting Powderfingers Bernard Fanning of Bernard Fanning
It was a
of
day
Powderfinger
full of
fame?
heavy hitters, man. What are you talking about? You weren't expecting it?
Well,
He was the heavy hitter.
He was-
let's be
But
honest, yeah.
he's like, like he's
kidding.
special.
we also signed the artist guitars. They were
Did
like, artists come through this way, and they're like, oh, have you signed the guitar yet? I'm like, what? Are you artists? You got the hat and sign the guitar. I'm like, let's sign the guitar, bro. Let's go do
Right.
it.
Our manager bought that guitar out of
did he?
pity.
Well, fuck.
And he's
you.
one of the event runners.
Well,
Bought it
listen,
himself.
he'll be fucking pumped to know that the price just went up.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
Hello,
little Eddie
sport
at the
on
bottom. There's a little Hello
Yeah,
Sport
just a
down
bit of
there.
metho.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
Yeah, he'll never know.
Did you we were talking earlier about getting gifted things. Was
Yeah.
that sort of your peak gifting phase, do you think? Post Hottest 100?
I think around that time. I just think when you're young and more attractive, probably, I guess people just want to have your stuff, have their stuff on you. And as you get older, they don't so much, But I'm also happy to, it's fun when you first, as you guys probably experienced too, like when it first starts happening, it's like, this is crazy. But then often you just get sent shit and you don't want it. And you'd prefer just to actually go out and find something you want and pay
Yeah.
$100 for it.
Yes.
Because you can. You know what I mean? Like it kind of wears off.
Don't stop sending us stuff, but that is the case.
Well, I mean, like things like wetsuits, again, sick.
Yeah.
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 Because you're not going to go out there and spend $500 on a wetsuit, are you? Because you
No.
want to pretend to go in a surf comp.
No,
Well,
you're
don't
not.
pretend. I mean,
Are you going to go in the surf
No, we're
comp?
going to do it.
Are you really?
No, we're actually doing
Well,
it.
that should be the first time you surf then. You're not going to get better between now and then anyway.
We'd
It
have to
makes
get
it more funny if that's your first time surfing.
That's also a good point.
It
but I
is.
want some experience.
You're not going to get good. It's so hard.
Yeah, but we'll be able.
We're not going to get good, but at least we can say we've trained with the world's best.
Just work on paddling out and getting underway.
Well, we need to work on duck diving. That
Yeah.
you can get better at.
Yeah, I don't know
just
how to
practice
duck
that.
dive.
Because if we go
and
down,
sit in the lineup looking like you can surf for a bit and just be like, oh, I was in the right spot.
yeah,
And I actually don't know how to even sit on one. I keep flipping over.
Yeah.
because we can't get down to the Maroubra Open. Hopefully streamed on KO and like not even get out the back. That would be.
I mean, it would be the best content.
That would actually be the best. You and I
Could
just.
you imagine if it was like semi big, like
Because there's
4
duck
foot, and I
diving, but
just
then can't
get
you
out.
also do like where you just roll onto
Well,
your back?
that's for a mal. Are you guys going to surf on like?
Well, we're surfing on that.
Well, we might
Oh,
get
you're surfing on those things.
Yeah.
we might get performance boards.
You're not
who
duck
knows?
diving that.
Okay, you're not. I
No.
don't fucking know. I'm not duck diving.
No,
that?
no, I don't think you would.
So you can surf then, obviously. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
bad, but I can surf.
But you can surf. We should go out for a wave together one day.
I would love to. Come
We
down
see
to
we're
the
getting a
pool.
crew together.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, our gang.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to get the Big Day
Well,
Boardriders
Mad
gang.
Boys.
Big day board riders.
Yeah, you want to join the gang?
Yeah, I'd love to. Send
Fuck
me
yeah,
aboard.
dude. Yeah, fuck it. Well, we'll get you aboard.
We may or may not go out on event day in pink weddies. I
Rose,
don't know.
coloured weddies.
Do they make them?
Not yet.
Well, they will for their fucking number 1 and 2. Number 1.
Oh, fuck off, man. 1 and 1.
Do you have to get accepted into this event?
You just pay for it.
Pay for it.
And then
But
we'll get a
wouldn't-
national ranking.
But how many people can like? What if they just have like 300 people turn up? To like, we can't run the event now.
Well, because I think people in the surfing community potentially have
Respect
a little bit
it.
more respect
Yes.
for the QS event than
Well,
not that we don't have
we
respect.
have respect.
You're promoting the shit out of it.
Correct.
100%. And I also love the sport,
Yeah.
which is well documented. It's more about remembering a loophole existed and talking about it with Tom one night, and we're like, holy shit, let's do it, and then looking into it and seeing it's fucking possible. And then Ronnie Blakey of WSL surf commentator fame confirmed it the other day when we interviewed him. He was like, yeah, you can do that.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So listen, all I really want in this life is a national, maybe global surf ranking. And I'm already professional because I'm sponsored by Billabong. So,
So, do you get a national one from the like?
Yeah.
But how do you get international?
Well,
just go into
basically we'll have an Australian ranking that'll be on an international site.
So you might be like 1,000. Like how many people? Have
dude,
you
I
looked at
think we'll probably be in
Look
the top
up go to QS rankings
because there are
on the
people with
WSL
rankings
website
that have 0.0 as their score.
and go to
And
Australia.
how many people are in the rankings?
I can't remember.
in Australia? Off the top, like I'll just like finger to the wind. I'll say there's like 800.
So we'll be the top 1,000 surfers in the country.
Oh, it's just so funny. You can say that. It's perfect. It's so perfect.
I will
Now,
fucking
top 1,000 in the country. Oh, but you're not that good. Well, why am I sponsored then?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there's
your backup.
The website suggests that I am that good.
Yeah.
Check the website. Check the tapes.
And then
Why
they'll
do me
just
and
go, "Well,
Jacko
what about
ba-
this highlight from the from the event?
Yeah, it's easy to cut together my worst waves.
Now, Billabong haven't pushed through yet. They haven't come through on.
Well,
on
they've got
this.
us the weddies. That's not so they haven't pushed through yet.
No, they haven't come through on a certain
Oh well, they yeah.
on
but
a
see,
certain surf day.
well, that was a social. That was like whoever's running that social said that. I don't know how true that was, but maybe they're also just waiting to see the proof in the pudding, right?
The
Like
surf day.
Listen. Well, there was 2 world champions floated as like potential surf
taking
buddies.
us out for a surf.
Oki and
Okay.
Parko. Not a big deal.
Okay.
But again,
not a
that was
big
sent
deal.
in a fucking Instagram DM. Like I'm not going to believe that.
Was it said?
It was said.
Yep.
Oh,
we're not
it
lying.
was said for us actually. We were going to go get surf lessons with Julian Wilson.
There you go.
He's Hurley, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's retired.
We got
but
sent
he
Hurley
was.
stuff back in the day, and we were meant to go, and something similar happened, but we didn't get to do it.
How often are you out surfing?
In the summer, a few times a week.
Oh, okay,
In the
good.
summer, but I'm just like I grew up bodyboarding a lot, so I bodyboarded like hard, and loved it, and never really surfed. But that kind of helped me when I started to decide to surf, like over the last few years again.
Because you understood
just-
the rules of the
You just
ocean.
read the wave, like you can just know what you're trying to do at least. I look at a wave and I go, I know what that's going to do, and if I was good at surfing, I would do on it.
Yes.
Just got to get better at
You just got
surfing.
to try and know how to do that.
Yes.
Whereas
Which is
I can't read anything.
I don't even know how to sit in a lineup. I'd be dropping in on everyone.
Dude, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's right. Like you're going to be in like a heat with someone who's taking surfing seriously.
See, we're hoping
Well,
to
we're
get
gonna-
putting
we-
a
we
heat
mo-
together.
Yeah, we want to have
Is
a
it
word.
1-on-1?
I don't
Well,
fucking
no,
know,
the
dude.
opening heats
Four?
are 4, but we want to have maybe just
Imagine
have
if
a
you
potential
ruin some
yarn.
young champions like heat.
I've thought about it. Don't worry.
keep out of the way.
I've thought
Yeah,
about
I
it.
don't want to ruin someone's opportunity.
We hope to be, if it's not a 2-man heat of like overflow, then Tom and I will go down the beach and compete, mano a mano.
No, listen, if I'm up against an up-and-coming world champion...
Oh, he's gonna fucking
Listen, dude.
keep dropping in on him?
Listen, I'm not going to keep dropping in him intentionally.
Just
I don't
keep
want to do
stealing
that. But
priority.
listen, you know what fucking greatness is about? Just no matter what.
Do you know what priorities?
Yeah, it's where I've got priority or he's got priority.
But
So-
how?
Isn't it because like you need to have a certain amount of waves each, and so like if it's like if you go
Yeah,
for
but
a
how do
wave
you get
and
priority?
you go, isn't it if they go for a wave eat shit? It's like, well, you've had your crack, now it's my turn.
Yep.
Sorry guys, fucking.
And then it's first out the back gets priority, and then if you commit to a wave, even if you bail on it too late,
That's why I don't want my first time in the ocean to be this event, because I need to have a bit of experience. We could do like a mini comp.
Oh god.
I know.
But okay, great. It's funny. A lot of people we sit down and interview have surfed or do surf and are keen to join the Boardriders, which is great.
Yeah, we probably should get some merch made. We have spoken about it.
It's a pretty fun idea for a day. You know, like you do like run clubs and there's a lot of different ones around the country and all that kind of stuff. A little surf club.
I actually like
Tight.
that.
That's actually that's actually a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Because you can just go down, like, there's so many waves around Sydney and down where I am, and any day, no matter what, there's going to be, you can just choose the shittest spot. There's a million beaches, and you can just go find the little corner where there's not much swell going on.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
What's your local break?
My local would be Thirroul Beach, but there's heaps. It's
Nice
very good
spot,
down there.
Thirroul. Very nice
Yeah.
spot.
It's great.
It's a fucking nice part of the world down there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I like it too. Just far enough from the action. I spend my whole life in cities, you know, like when I'm at work, I'm in cities touring and stuff. So when I get back, it's nice to just
Unwind.
drive an hour away from everything and just go
Chill.
to the beach. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Thirroul's nice. Albums. What's the next thing happening with the Rubens? What's going on?
So a new song coming out in 2 weeks, I think, or a week. Have to double check that. But that's sort of like the first single in the preparation for the record. The record's like done now.
Right.
But another thing that's changed actually is just from the day you deliver a finished product, like an album, it can be like a year between like that being finished and it coming out.
Really?
Let alone this, like, and that's not including all the time you spent making it. You know what I mean? So like,
Why?
Wow.
just because I think like, especially if you've got a record that you think has got a bunch of bangers on it,
Yeah.
if you just put the record out, a bunch of people will just listen to the one song that's at the top of the list, right? Or they're not going to go through and find the music. So if you put out like 4 singles over the span of 8 months, every single does its work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's more just like that's the way you squeeze the most out of like.
But in terms of
album.
once you deliver the finished product to then like releasing singles, well, that's not a year, right? Is it?
No, but like we'll make a whole record and then we'll be like,
Yeah.
all right, that's the first single that'll come out in a month.
Drip feed
Next single,
that.
3 months, and
Yeah.
but the actual full finished record.
It was made a year prior to its
Yeah,
release.
often, yeah. So it's just sort of just drip feeding singles.
What's it like? What's the experience like producing a record when you're young, dumb, full of cum, and then when you're like, you know, a hot 35-year-old who's dabbled in modeling, and like, just in terms, I was just throwing that in there, but you know, like, what's the experience like compared to like when you've had success, and do you feel the pressure of previous success? Like, what's that whole vibe like, or is it still just sort of the same experience?
It's just fun. Like writing the music, when you come up with a good song and you're excited about it, it's fun. It's a good feeling. Can't wait to show the boys.
Yeah.
Once we get to the studio, we love being there together. We have a good time making the music. The only thing that's kind of scary, and it happens every time, is are people still waiting for this music? Like, are they still here for us, kind of thing?
Right.
And that's no matter what. It doesn't matter how much success you have in the past, and you could be as logical as possible and say, of course, not everyone's just decided to get over our band.
Yeah.
But still, you're just like, as you put it out, you're like, fuck, are they going to be there? Like, they're going to still, you know, and same with shows.
Yeah.
Every Splendor in the Grass, every time I walk out, like, because you know, between like sets at Splendor or festivals, that's people's piss break, beer break. So the band before you might have a heaving $30,000 amphitheater. As soon as they finish, everyone fucks off, and you're like, you're on in 25 minutes, and you're just praying they come back.
Yeah.
You're looking through the curtains, just every time, and you see people, and it's like conversations between. Like, we become kids. Like you're like, I'll be saying to Scotty, like, oh no, I think they're coming back, dude. Like, oh, they're coming from down the hill. There's a couple there, man. And like, you just become this like wreck. And then they slowly come back and you're like, thank God. It's the same with releasing music.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we got limited time doing this for a living, right? We're aware of that. Every time a record gets away and fans turn up to the next shows, we're like, got away with that one. Like, because it's rare, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we love it so much as well. I think it's like that as well. We have a good life and we do what we love for a living, but the thought of that being taken away is kind of scary. So
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't want to go back to fucking whatever else.
It's the same for you dudes, right?
And listen, we don't have 30,000 people waiting for us at Splendor, but you're like, I'm used to the bloody pool table.
Yes.
Used to the rosé.
Used to the rosé. Used to, 10 a.m. starts sometimes.
10 a.m.
you know?
starts. My mum came into yesterday, first time she was in the studio, and she goes, "Oh, isn't it wonderful you can just wear board shorts to work?" I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Love that, Annabelle. That's
Love
good
it.
stuff.
Most
You know,
how I
of
do it.
all the perks, of all the perks, that is number one.
That's it. That's what it's about.
Do you wear board shorts to work?
Well, I did yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was wearing boardies yesterday, and she obviously
Shin
noticed
swingers.
it. No, look, they're not shin swingers. I get shin swingers all the time from Eddie. They're a little baggier than Eddie. Eddie wears fucking hot pants. You can basically see his fucking asshole in those shorts.
good legs.
He's got good legs. I don't have good legs.
I do.
Show off
Yeah,
your
you got
assets.
good legs as well. You shouldn't be You should be showing them off a bit more.
I'll get them out for golf. I
Oh,
didn't bring
good.
shorts.
There you go.
Well, that's your mistake.
your
We are in
mistake.
card so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got shorts ready.
So single, 2 weeks time.
Name, and tell us the meaning of the song and break down every lyric for us.
Actually sing it to us.
Honestly, this song. I was about to do it, then I realised that that's not me.
We'll start clicking.
No. I can put it on the thing. Look. I'll put it on here for like.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Do that.
I'm probably not allowed to, but let's
Well,
just
we
do
won't
it.
get taken down. Hell yeah.
There you go. That's all.
Fuck
you
yeah,
get.
dude.
There we
That's
go.
a-
Is that a world first?
That's a world first.
That's a world first. Yeah, dude, we
Exclusive.
love a world exclusive.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Liked it.
Yeah,
Very
that'll be out
vibey.
next- I think it's next week. Oh, it's
Name?
the week after. You know what? It's 2 weeks early.
2 weeks earlier. So
Yeah,
this
it's
is what
2
you
weeks
get
early.
here. So
I'm not telling you the name.
Oh, okay, you
Yeah.
can't tell us the name. That's
No,
all right.
I could, but
Well, no, obviously you could, but I mean, like, don't tell us the name. It's
What's
all
it about?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. No, but we got a bunch of. I don't usually like to promote new music. It feels weird, but I'm genuinely excited for the record that is coming out. We've got more bangers than we've ever had. Like, usually I feel like, if I'm honest about our music, like we've put out an album, but there's usually just one song that sort of just goes and has its real big moment. Maybe
Right.
it crosses over to like commercial radio or goes on a big playlisting and stuff. There's just that one track, like a Hoops or something.
Yep.
But this one actually feels like we've got 4. So it's put us in a different position, like strategically as well. We don't have to be like, all right, when will we put out our good one? Got to be really strategic with that shit. But this just feels like, we've got like we're kind of spoilt for choice with like a few good songs.
Yeah.
So
Hectic.
yeah, it's exciting.
That's mad. And so
Exciting.
when will the full album be out, do you reckon?
It'll be later next year sometime. Still sort of working it out because we got to work it out with just international labels and like there's a bit to talk about there. But main thing is like we just want to put out new shit so we can go on tour. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we.
That's the funnest part of it, I assume.
It is like I got 2 kids, so it's since having a family, it becomes a lot more stressful. Like I'm firstly stressing my wife out by being away, and it's hard.
Yep.
And just missing him and stuff. So that's become tricky. But I still love touring.
Yeah. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this the other day, and you may know I also have 2 children. But I was thinking about like footy players and like, to be fucking mad to be a footy player. Like, you're constantly going away and all this shit. And I was like, I actually just feel fucking bad when I'm not around my kids for like a couple of days. Like even when we went to Perth and we had a rip. And don't get me wrong, I fucking had a great time and I made the most of it. But like,
A lot of fun.
I can't imagine. Like, will you try and like build your schedule around like not being away for too long, or are you sort of like at the mercy of like we are on a 6-week fucking?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like international's hard. Like if we get a run in overseas, you're not coming home for the weekend. So like that's hard, and we try and keep it as short as we can. Like if we're going to do America, like back in the day, we might go Asia, America, Europe. We might go America 3 weeks, come back for a week or 2, and just split them up because it doesn't really cost that much more to just come home for a bit.
Yeah.
So we're conscious of it, but I mean, touring Australia is okay because we will go away for 4 nights, come back for 3 nights. Like, you know, I'm coming back to see the fam. But lucky for me as well, like with the young, like, while the kids are younger, my partner Rosie, her family are all over in Perth, and they'll often just head over there for a few weeks while I'm on tour, just so she's got help with the mum and stuff, and makes me feel a little bit less bad.
Well, hell yeah, dude. Oh, if there's people around there, whatever. I'll come back in a year.
You got help.
You've got help. What are you
You've got
talking about?
help. No complaints.
I can FaceTime them. That's fine.
I had the kids by myself for 9 days a few weeks ago.
9 days,
9
bro.
days, dude.
Was that
Holy
hectic?
fuck.
How old are they?
They're 3 and 5.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I came back from tour. We're in New Zealand. I came back, and my partner Rosie went to LA for 9 days, and we kind of we missed each other. So like we had a babysitter all day. I came back wrecked from New Zealand after 5 days, and then just had to go straight into it every day. Just wake up, kids all day.
Yeah.
But it was awesome because like I appreciated 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. like I've never appreciated it before.
You mean the greatest fucking 2 hours of your life?
Dude, as a dad, I was loving it.
Yeah.
And I did nothing. I wouldn't even have a beer. I'd just lie on the couch, get a cup of tea, and just like watch sports highlights or some bullshit on YouTube. And it's the best 2 hours.
Yeah. And then you're like, I could push this to midnight if I wanted to, but I know they're getting up at fucking sparrows fart.
Yeah.
And then I'm screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. So that gave me a nice appreciation. I already appreciate what my partner does, but fuck.
It's a different beast though, isn't it? Yeah. It's a different beast.
Yeah.
I've never had 9 days. That's trench warfare.
It
That
was.
is. My God.
Yeah, that's Western Front sort of
That's
stuff. World War I,
that's
brother.
Ratchet Brook sort of shit.
Oh, I don't even know, but I can imagine. That sounds
that's a lot.
hectic. 9. That's the longest stint I've heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do? You got
one.
games and shit? What are you like? What are you
You
killing
kind of
time
find a
with?
rhythm. Like I feel like when I've done maybe 2 days before that previously, you don't really find the rhythm. You kind of just get through it, and then
Yeah.
then she comes home, and you're like, sweet, there's 2 of us now. But 9 days, you got to find a rhythm.
Yeah, you got to find
Quick.
something to work.
And so you just find tricks like my son Louis, I'll be like, hey, do you want to have a bath? Because that'll give him an hour in the bath. Do you want to have another bath? 4 baths in.
This kid's
So I can clean the
cleanest kid in
house or like
town.
get shit done. Just like little tricks like that. But
Yeah.
Cleanest kid
I
on
also
the
had
planet.
a nice time. Like it was
Dude,
it was
it's
cute.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
Until they got sick halfway through. Oh, we actually all got sick.
Well, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Dan.
Yeah, it was
They'll
fun.
fuck you. They come back from fucking.
Get a better
daycare
immune
with-
system. It's pretty simple.
This dickhead doesn't get it.
Yeah, you'll get it one day.
I can't wait for him to. No, you know
Yeah,
what?
but maybe
He
I
probably won't, and that'll piss me off even more.
What if you just decide not to go down that road?
He just won't get
but
sick.
I've just got
Oh, right.
got like best in class immune system. You know what I mean?
Do you really?
Yep.
That's good.
Got off my old man. Well, proof's in the pudding.
No, you do have a pretty good immune system.
I
That's what
always
want.
did too, but it's kids.
They're fucking. Listen, I've said it enough. They're petri dishes, dude. They're like little Wuhan fucking daycares. It's fucked up. Anyway,
Let's fucks it out, baby.
I had a question. I forgot. What sport team? Who do you go for in footy?
Dolphins.
Okay, who'd you go for 2 years ago?
I didn't really go for anyone. So I grew up in
okay.
it's funny. I think I sent you guys a picture of me in the Dolphins hat
I
when you were
vaguely
talking
remember.
shit.
Yeah,
when you were talking shit right at the start.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're a fish man.
I'm a fish man. I'm a fishman.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up watching it like I think most people did, especially out where I was from, like Campbelltown, Camden way. And I had every chance to go like for the Tigers. Like
Every
I
chance.
graduated in 2006. So like, you know, they won 2005 or 6,
Yeah,
right?
5.
5. So it's like that was if I was going to go for him, I was going to go from then, and I just wasn't that I just wasn't feeling it.
She must be fucking thanking your lucky stars.
I am, but I just kept following it. But I kind of dropped off just from, I don't know, work, touring, whatever. And the last few years, for whatever reason, it's just come back into the consciousness of so many people like me. I don't know what it is, the rule changes, I don't know what it is, but everyone that used to follow it that left is back. Partly thanks to you guys, like our group at least. Because you know what it does? Like, it contextualizes what they're about to watch on the weekend. They don't have to really follow like everything that's happening, but they can listen to you guys on Monday or whenever it comes out and just like go, all right, there's a bit of drama. I'm going to watch that game on
And
the
see
weekend.
what's up,
and I don't have to really get into it. So that was partly it. But
You're welcome.
yeah. Well, everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. But yeah, when the fish got announced to be coming up, I was like, you know what? I actually haven't committed to a team yet. I got a little boy. I'm just going to like just go for the fish.
Yeah.
And now and again, I'll go up there with him. if
Oh,
he's into
have you
it.
been there? Have you been to the ground
Nah,
yet? We
it
haven't
looks
been
sick.
there.
It looks sick. I bought a hat like straight away as soon as I made the decision. Like last year, I bought a hat. And I was like, I don't want to look like so I left it outside in the sun, and I'd like go swimming in it and stuff. So it would get salty, and then it never was left inside.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a fish hat, it needs to be salty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Have we got a fish 13 plus jumper laying around, or are we out of them?
Do you have those?
Yeah, we made them at the start of the
Do
year.
we make them though?
We made fish 13 plus. We made them
Definitely.
for everyone. Yeah, we did every team.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we fucking did.
No, we didn't.
At the start of the year, we didn't give every fucking team an option.
No.
Can I bet you $100 that we did?
No, because we picked the colours. We picked one colour for each thing. We
Yeah.
didn't pick multiples.
No, but so dragons and fish.
No, we would have made one or the other.
So you're saying we didn't do any dolphins options?
I'm saying that we would have made a fish or a dragon.
Oh, but we sold them though.
yes.
Okay,
I'm saying
sorry.
what's here.
Sorry, I
They're
thought you
all
were saying we didn't make it.
samples.
I thought I was losing my
They're all-
mind.
What's that one red one?
That's dragons. DMC. No, we
Yeah.
don't want to give them that. Don't want to give them that.
Listen, it'll be 50-50.
Don't
Well,
worry, brother. It's all
should have
good.
checked. Should have checked beforehand. Shame on us. No. Okay.
It's all
Okay.
good. It's all good.
Well, listen, it would have been great if we'd had one. Unless you want a Broncos 13 plus.
No, it's okay. Thanks, mate.
Fuck that. Mate, thanks for coming on. It's good to yarn.
It was fun.
fucking
thanks,
mad.
boys.
Had a ball.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Now we're
Let's
going to
go,
on
fucking
Pound
Bulls.
G golf.
You know, we've
Yeah.
been fucking driving our asses off.
You should have seen
I
some
heard
of
that the other day on the pod. Yeah.
But like,
You know what we won't do today? Drive our
ass
asses off.
Yeah.
What's your miss? Slice?
Everything.
Everything.
Top,
That's good. Pull's
slice.
nice. I'd rather pull
Tops,
than
pulls,
slice.
dribbles, slices, fades, hooks.
You
I don't
prefer
think a
to pull
dribble
than
counts
slice?
as a miss. I mean, the miss has to get in the air, you know?
Yeah. But see, like, I
Fair.
guess a slice is like I've got onto it, but it's fucking sliced out. Like
I
it's,
hate it so much.
but a pull, I'm like, what am I doing?
But at least it kind of goes straight for a bit. Like,
That's
you know,
true.
I don't
See,
know.
Sebo pulls them. I'm like, how are you pulling them? Slice them.
He hits him to the sky, Sebo. I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing.
Who's the best golfer in like your crew?
Seb.
Yeah.
Yep, Seb. But I mean, he also does it now for a job and plays fucking 3 times a week. So
He's
His
actually
swing's
paid to
looking
play
like it's
golf.
getting better. Like,
he is.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
stiff as a board, the cunt. I look
Yeah.
at him like I'm a stiff guy, so I know stiffness. I know it intrinsically.
We're all pretty stiff in the
I'm
golf
stiff in the
swing.
back, big
Yeah,
time.
my
But
back's
he's
fucked.
Sebo stiff.
His first, I was with him the first time he ever played golf, and he missed the ball 3 times. First 3 shots he ever played. Tiny T-Rex arms, and then now he's fucking 14 or something handicap.
Mate, if he opened his hips a bit more, just a pinch,
Yeah, it's
Big
all in his
difference.
hands. He's all arms.
he's an arm guy for sure.
Because
If
if you
he
get a sore
started
back, you
hipping
kind of
up,
have to.
mate, different story, different kettle of fish.
Anyway, we'll see you out there on the course, bro.
Yeah.
See you,
Right,
bro.
boys. Cheers.
Could you two just not talk anymore?